Well, hello there. Today's Monday show is brought to you by Fair Lease. Their website is fairlease.org. You've heard us talk about him. Blake is in the process of getting a new vehicle from Fair Lease. He's been dealing with Matthew, as did Robert, another one of our listeners, who said that they dealt with Matthew. Matthew delivered the car himself. Brand new Chevy Tahoe right there in the driveway, delivered by Matthew himself.
Yeah, he'll do that. They're working on my appraisal, which I'm getting top market trade-in value, helping me find a new car, giving me all the prices, and making me feel right at home.
And fair, really, is what you were mostly saying. So if you go to fairlease.org, click Request a Quote, then select Dumb Zone on the How Did You Hear About Us page. That is Fair Lease. Fair Lease also bringing us a remote next Friday at the Haas Moto Museum, February 7th. More on that in the coming days, fairlease.org.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I never listen, I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the Dumb Zone.
All right, happy show, happy Monday. Show number 301 for the Dumb Zone. I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jay Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
Didn't really celebrate number 300, did we?
None of it mattered. Hey, I celebrate them all, buddy.
It's like Valentine's Day with you and your wife. Every day I treat you like Valentine's Day, honey.
Look,
now get the top off.
it's the new me.
He's been horny recently.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Who, me?
I really have. Yeah.
You've told several ladies to fire that top off.
Yeah, it might have been because I watched that Chappelle show when John Mayer was playing.
You know, a lot of people say live every day like it's your last, but I was listening to a speech this weekend, and her point was live every day like it's your first.
Which is not do anything.
Yeah, just kind of survey.
Just lay there and
Just be
cry.
amazed by everything. Be amazed that you're sitting here, Fox Studio with your friends.
Have some not solid poop.
Drink
Isn't that what you do when you're first
drink
born?
from a titty.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're actually live streaming on YouTube today. Hello, world. The whole world can see us.
Do you want to do your
Jason
new
from the internet? Hit me up.
Your new Roman salute and see if it passes the muster on YouTube?
Well, it's just that I want my heart to go.
Watch the angle.
Straight. I want my heart to go 45 degrees.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! The angle.
Heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was the explanation?
I think. I don't know. It was crazy. Anyway, I don't know or care. What I do know and care about is the Dallas Cowboys have a press conference this morning.
I was hoping you were right.
Yeah. No, I was.
You know, and it's not like wrong. I mean, we're all just fiddling around. This guy I heard from who talks to people at the Star, and here's Jane Slater's reports. But not only if you were going to call it wrong, were you wrong? It was the most wrong you could possibly be. Because not only did they not drag it out to the Super Bowl, they did it at 5:30 or 6 o'clock on a Friday.
It was incredible.
Like it's the most way to hire Brian Schottenheimer possible.
It was like, we're embarrassed to do this.
Exactly.
We're just going to do it now. And then, like, why didn't they wait till like 2 in the morning? In fact, why is this press conference going on now? Why not hastily assembled Friday night?
Yeah.
It's just like Mickey and Brad are there, and that's the only people allowed to ask questions.
Yeah. They dial in Schotty on Zoom.
Like, if they had done this during Super Bowl week, it would have got too much attention. And they don't want people, like, hopefully, Jerry's thought, I could do it Friday. Then there's going to be the championship games. Then everyone's going to talk about that Monday. And even the big Cowboy fans are going to be kind of like, okay, well, I got Mahomes on my mind. I got the Eagles. I got this. And
I guess. And the craziest part about it is, the thing we kept thinking was like, all right, well, if they're going to do something this underwhelming to the fan base, well, certainly Mr. Cowboy Part 2 is walking through that door with him. And there's no indication that Jason Witten is a part of this at all. So all the reporting
Yeah,
on that
I can't
front,
believe that that's not going to be somewhere. Yes, but if not, yeah, if you weren't, I don't know.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I think it might have been Ed Werder first reported that they had agreed with Matt Eberflus, with Flus returning to the Star. And I believe he walked that back and was like, "Oh, they're going to interview him because there's a Rooney Rule
For coordinators too."
Yeah, so perhaps they twofered it with Leslie Frazier, but the way this ends up is they interviewed.
What if we don't hire you as our head coach? Can we just get you as the DC?
Can you come back?
They interviewed.
Or here, let me. Our Google thing is running out. All right, let's log back on
Start
so
a
we
new
can
meeting.
prove that we interviewed you twice.
It's still here.
Yeah.
They interviewed
me.
Leslie Frazier, who, to my knowledge, no one else interviewed. They interviewed Kellen Moore, who might have had like 2 other interviews, and I would have been ultimately fine with Keller, but it ain't like he was Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn. And they interviewed.
He's still going to be he's Super Bowl coordinator.
Sure. And they interviewed Schotty.
No clip.
Salah is the other one I was thinking of. And Salah got a couple sniffs, but no Cliff.
They never rolled Cliff Kingsbury in. Like, you could roll him in today for his interview. In fact, that would be much more inspiring.
Yeah, and the thing that I'm confused about is who's going to be the offensive coordinator? Like, so is Schottenheimer now calling plays? I guess we're going to find out here in a minute.
Yeah. Well, I guess if the Joneses really are as cheap as we think they are, they probably figure they can hire him. Just pay him,
But
lower than average market head coach money.
Well, they will.
Because it's all about leverage, correct? Like, hey, I've got a couple other calls. Like Marty. Brian Schottenheimer does not have another call.
No.
I didn't confirm
Not
this.
even like as a.
I was just
like
going
a
to say, I
tight
saw
ends
that
coach
his
or
last interview for a head coach was in 2006. Which.
Is that when he was a hot name?
He was a name. He was at least like young at that time. He was the quarterback's coach for the Chargers. Then he was the OC for
Drew Brees. Right?
Yeah, for Drew Brees. Then he was the OC of the Jets for a little while. But my point is just they're still going to have a nominal offensive coordinator. Who is that going to be? Oh, I don't know. Why don't we go over to that very bountiful Brian Schottenheimer coaching tree and grab one of the assistants that he's had under his tutelage for many years who can implement things the way he wants them to be done. Because, when like McVay or Shanahan gets hired, all of their guys get interviews and jobs. Brian Schottenheimer doesn't have a staff. Like, who's he going to? He's never called plays, or he's been a long time since he called plays. So he's going to call plays now and be the head coach? Like with McCarthy, you're like, maybe. Well, he had a Super Bowl. And he did it calling plays.
No, there was quite a bit of, there were detractors, but there was quite a bit of reason for optimism when they hired Mike McCarthy as head coach.
Sure.
Here's a guy who, has done it. He's a big old guy, looks like a football coach. He even got that. If Brian Schottenheimer's last name was Kemp.
Then he would be a politician in Georgia.
Okay, if Brian Schottenheimer's last name was Jones, well, then he'd be a
I was going to say.
football
And he'd own half.
The point is, yeah, if Jerry didn't know Schottenheimer's dad, should I find that audio real quick?
Yeah, I tweeted it out over the weekend. I should have had it ready for you, but it's just search Schottenheimer. You'll find it because we don't have a lot. There's not a lot in there. But, yeah, so I'm making a couple calls today for the press conference, which should start here, and they say 5, but it'll be 15 minutes. Jerry's going to cry.
Because
About?
of his dad?
I think this means a lot to him. Marty meant a lot to him. And when he thinks about Marty, who cried a lot, I think Jerry's going to get emotional just thinking about
Marty cried a lot?
Marty Schottenheimer?
I don't recall that.
Oh, it was him and Vermeil both, right?
I don't remember Marty Schottenheimer being a crier. But perhaps, if you can find that proof, he made me cry when I was a kid.
The drive?
Yeah,
Or which
when
one?
he
Yeah.
led the Browns to the doorstep. Okay, so apparently this was Jerry talking about, or somebody was asking him about whether Schottenheimer was just like a nepotism type hire. All right.
Good quarterback matchup here tonight. There's Brian Schottenheimer, who turns 50 today. Fourth team he's been the offensive coordinator for, the Jets, Rams, Seahawks, and now the OC for Mike McCarthy, who, by the way, Mike started his NFL career working for Marty Schottenheimer back in 93.
Says Nepo baby.
As an offensive coach to a legend in the business, the late, great Marty Schottenheimer.
Okay, so he started his career
Yeah, I don't know if this will play from here.
as a
or not,
Nepo baby.
but turn me. Okay, I'll have to figure this out on the fly. But
Oh, which one is it, though?
it says Jerry 14.
Jerry 14. Okay, sorry. My bad.
There are people who think that a big part of the reason he got the position, if not the only one, is because his dad was the first one who gave Mike an opportunity to coach in this league. What would you tell someone who thinks that?
I don't think
That I had something to do with it, and I did it because his daddy taught me a bunch of football on the competition committee. So whatever he influenced Mike on.
So, okay, so the question was about, did Mike McCarthy hire him because Marty gave Mike McCarthy his first job?
Yeah.
And Jerry's
Hold on.
answer...
The answer should be no. He's an accomplished offensive coordinator. He's been in the league. He's been in 10 different buildings, in quarterback rooms. The guy's been around the block for 20 years. His merit stands on its own.
Even if that's not, which it wasn't true.
You say it.
But yes, that's what you say.
But you probably also don't hold a press conference on your bus at the combine. And that's probably where that came from, sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
Here's
So
his-
the question is, was Mike McCarthy, is he a Nepo hire because Mike McCarthy? And Jerry's like, absolutely not.
That I had something to do with it, and
It was me. I hired him. Oh, really? Okay. Why?
I did it because his daddy taught me a bunch of football on the competition.
Hilarious.
And they're laughing.
He's not joking.
But he's
Hilarious.
he's not. This isn't one of the parts where he's talking about a frog bumping its ass, whatever. He
Circumcising a
where he
mosquito.
knows he's being funny.
Yeah.
So whatever he influenced Mike on, I got a little of it too. So y'all can flip a coin over who had to.
Okay, so it's not.
Jeez.
You can flip a coin on which one you want to charge with nepotism here. It is one of us.
Right.
I think we both had to agree. I think that's there someplace. But the bottom line is certainly his lineage.
Lineage. Marty Schottenheimer, a former NFL head coach, was known to cry during locker room speeches, and when discussing his career, he would cry tears of joy and tears of failure.
Okay.
I just remember him crying a lot.
Okay.
And I think he cried on the air with the Musers one time, and it was really
Oh, really?
weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that.
So I think
I don't
Jerry,
remember anything.
you know, he went through that little pocket a few years ago where it felt like he was crying a lot. At camp, remember? At the opening press conference. Hadn't heard him cry in a minute, but I feel like if he's going to cry, it's going to be when he's bringing in Marty's son. And he'll reference Marty's wife, Brian Schottenheimer's mom. He'll be like, I remember old, Laurel.
Laurel Schottenheimer.
I promise you she's going to come up.
So Schotty is what everybody's going to call him, right?
Yeah, and I got a problem with him right out of the gate. Kind of
Schotty.
reminds me of a rodent. Look at the face.
A rodent. Oh, he does.
Yeah. Got a little rodent face to him.
Hmm.
That's tough. He doesn't look like a guy Jerry could ride.
Yeah,
No.
with the nickname Schotty, which I've heard tactical Schotty, which I kind of like.
Yeah. That's Fortnite.
But he represents nothing of a shotgun. Shotgun's kind of badass, in your face, very powerful.
I would think Run the Ball Blake really enjoys this hire. He's probably going to
But here's the
pound
thing.
that rock.
How can we even know? How do we know?
Didn't they get rid of Kellen Moore? And right after that is when McCarthy said he thought Kellen Moore should have run the ball more.
Yeah.
Like Kellen Moore just doesn't run the ball a lot. And now Kellen Moore is in charge of the offense that runs the ball more than anyone in the NFL.
7 rushing touchdowns yesterday. Now, there's some
Could it have to do
factors
with
there.
who plays for you? And
Yeah.
Kellen Moore actually is looking at the roster and saying, here's what I should do with the –
Crazy.
You know what? Watching these games this weekend, I know we don't want to get to the games yet, but it was making me sad and just thinking, okay, the time wasn't last year. The time was after that second San Francisco loss. So you lose to San Francisco. Right there, you slide Dan Quinn in between the pipes, and Kellen Moore is your offensive coordinator. That's where you made the change. That's where this went awry.
Could have done it.
Was that the hurry-up play where they couldn't spike it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, you could say game management,
Was that Zeke's?
running into a wall. No, that was the first one?
No, because during the Green Bay year,
He was in New England.
Zeke was in New England. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it must have been. I don't know. The point is, it's very underwhelming, this hire.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Playoffs are just
underwhelming.
full of, notable Cowboy, errors left and right as you're watching Dorrance Armstrong doing stuff. And
I don't even get lost in the weeds on stuff like that, but
Well-
because you could probably find that for any team. All you really have to stick with is Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn.
in the NFC Championship game.
Like, that's all you need to know. Now, if you want to talk about the AFC, you could just point at, from a scheme and preparation standpoint, we're not even in the same universe.
All right, let's not get into the games yet.
Well, think of it this way. In those games you referenced, the 49ers games and the Packers game, did the Cowboys do anything where you're like, oh, they brought a little something different to the table today? No, of course not. And then yesterday you see Mahomes on naked boots, on rollouts. You see some of the stuff they were running for Josh Allen.
Yeah,
That-
yeah.
I mean, it's,
That was my takeaways. You had 4 mobile quarterbacks play this weekend.
yeah. And even if you go back to last weekend, who would have been the odd man out might have been,
Goff.
Stafford, Goff. Those guys lose. And currently,
But
Dak,
they were still doing creative things.
they still were.
Yeah.
To try to give them a chance to win. The Cowboys are, in a position of, what if we just played you straight up and our quarterback can't run? You know what they need is a time machine. To either go back when the league was different 15 years ago and Dak would have been great, or to 7 years ago when he could run. It's crazy. It's a crazy, underwhelming hire, and I don't even know how they're going to sell it.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to watch the press conference and carry it live here and then offer commentary.
Which is
if we want
something
to.
that I know many people have probably done this over the years, but I lobbied to do this at the station many times.
But you can't trample upon
Sports credibility.
Sports credibility, breaking news. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when we afterward play it over and laugh about it,
That's okay.
fair play to you.
Yeah, but we'll just do it all right now. But the Cowboys are the Cowboys, so they scheduled a press conference for 11. It's currently 11:04, and they are not anywhere to be seen just as of yet. But we plan to be there for you. And we should do a weekend check. leading
Plan
up
to be
it.
there for you just like Elite Rides DFW.
There you go. Look at that.
They have an app now. Download that Elite Rides DFW app, and you can book your next ride on the go with their mobile app. Elite Rides is great even before the app. They've got a nice fleet there for you. They got the Sprinter van. They've got Tesla.
That's the one we were in.
They got a big old SUV. Yeah, and they're great for events.
They have a Tesla?
Yeah, I think so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So schedule a ride. If you're going to a show, maybe you're going to a sporting event. I don't know. You got something coming up for March Madness where you and the fellas want to go get crazy?
What if I simply need a ride to the airport?
They can do that as well at 844-RIDE-DFW, or, like I said, download that app, the Elite Rides DFW app. We have not had anyone get back to us and say, I had a bad experience with them. So use promo code DZ15 for 15% off your first ride when you book via the phone, the website, or the app. Elite Rides, DFW. Weekend check.
Says they have AI booking. The hell does that mean? It's probably awesome. Or it's Al. Call Al.
Yeah.
844-RIDE DFW. Mine's real quick. Didn't really go out. Didn't do anything.
What'd you do Friday night?
Absolutely nothing. It was great.
Yeah.
I made a fire for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife was out. It was not not book club, but it was just Jennifer and Karen. She actually has a friend named Karen.
Of course.
I feel sorry for that lady because my wife certainly is more the Karen in that group. But yeah, it was a great night of just nothing, no responsibility. Ate what I wanted. I don't even remember what I ate. But the point is then, so over the weekend, though, it was very busy with the – you never think about it when you at first do it, but then you have to clean up all the Christmas stuff at some point. And so, yeah, and every year it's worse because you lose stuff, and I don't know. It's just a big ordeal. Have you seen those little things on Twitter or whatever? Little clip of people showing off their new house that they built, and they will build a giant closet where you can just take your Christmas tree and put it in there, all decorated, and then close the closet, and it's there all year.
I've not heard about that.
Because really, I'm thinking right now, because I put it up in the attic in above my garage, so where we broadcast sometimes, I will. You have to store the Christmas tree in there. But all of the room we use for the giant Christmas tree boxes, we have 2 of those to fit the whole Christmas tree in, and then like 7 or 8 boxes for ornaments and things that go all around the house. Like, don't you? Oh, we're going to go to a press conference.
Oh, Steven just gave the lap pat to Schotty.
Cowboy press conference is going to happen. Everybody's up there drinking water now.
You think Jerry's got a Christmas tree closet? It's good to know that buzz is definitely on the Cowboys end now that we're...
Yeah, it's okay.
No, I'm just
as long
saying.
as we can hear them. That's Cowboy buzz.
Yeah, Christmas tree closet, that's a little too much.
Jerry could have a whole Christmas tree room. We'll just close this whole room off.
But I like the process of decorating it. Or I like watching other people decorate it.
Okay, I was going to say.
And my kid likes it.
The takedown sucks, though.
I'm just in charge of carrying the stuff out. We still have one Christmas tree up. I told you we had a normal one and a smaller one in the new room. It's going to be a Valentine's Day tree. Sorry, Blake.
Whatever.
See, don't you see a little just rodent look to Schotty there in the middle?
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming out this Monday morning here to the Star in Frisco.
What's playing? Rob?
I'd like to introduce our
have a good show.
Like the
Thank
mom
you,
game
Rob.
is playing.
on the stage,
Right now.
who everybody knows, of course, Cowboys owner, president, and general manager Jerry Jones.
There's Tad.
That's Tad, good dude.
Our new
Worked for the
Dallas
Cavs for
Cowboys
years.
head
I know
coach,
him.
Brian Schottenheimer.
Found out he had cancer due to Dak.
Oh, that's right. He didn't get cancer
And
from Dak. He
Chief
found out
Operating
because
Officer, Executive
He didn't get
Vice
cancer
President of
due
Player
to Dak.
Personnel, and co-owner Stephen Jones.
Co-owner, huh?
All right.
that's what we're calling it now, huh?
Nobody wanted to clap.
Now, what we'd like to start off with is
What is Tad
some
like
remarks
emceeing this?
from our head coach, Brian Schottenheimer.
Is this weird?
And then we'll follow that up with questions.
Thank you, Tad. First of all, I'd like to thank Jerry,
So that's what he
Miss
sounds like.
Jean, Stephen, Charlotte, Jerry Jr., the entire Jones family.
guy's
Over the
so-
past 3 years that I've been here, it's been really incredible to get to know them. But I would say really over the past 4 or 5 days, as we've spent a lot of hours together, that I really realized why this organization, but most importantly, this family is so special. So thank you guys for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course
From
he
a
did.
football family, the Schottenheimers, to the Jones. Thank you guys for this incredible, incredible opportunity. And I
can't
forward
believe it.
He's
to
like,
working
look
so
good.
closely with the entire family.
This so came out of
and
nowhere for me.
continuing the legacy and tradition of this football team and the special brand that it has. I'm honored and privileged to be the next head coach of the Dallas
He kind of has like
Cowboys.
a wet look going on with his hair.
I'd like
kind
to
of like
just talk briefly
early
about
2000s.
some of the people that we're looking for. And there's a lot of those young men in the back of the room here that, as you guys will
Mike
learn
is
from me, the
100%
Schottenheimers
rolling dice right now.
tend to be criers. And that just means we show our emotions. And so
it's okay to
the
cry.
type of people we're looking for that are modeled by a lot of the young men in the back that I will talk directly to them in a minute is
He's about to cry.
just a special group. We're looking for world-class competitors, guys that want to compete every day to be the best versions of themselves.
Oh,
All right, that's
God.
new. That's
We're
different.
looking for people with a relentless work ethic. I was taught at a young age by my father
This guy's
that you can
boring,
outwork
too.
people in this business.
He mentioned his father within 1 minute.
You don't belong in this organization if you don't value relationships. This business has never
Yeah, we'll
been
ask Jerry about
X's
that
and
other
O's.
daughter.
It's about people. And when I thought about it, I can't imagine sitting up here with a
He's
better
like, it's
group
not
of
about
people,
X's and O's, which is a
better
good
family to
thing.
do this with. So I thank you guys for that
Because
opportunity.
those really baffle me.
And lastly, the type of people that we want, people that love this game.
Oh!
The game of football.
I
has
do want to
given
remind everyone right
me
now,
so much, my family so much, but if you're not
Nick
passionate about
Sirianni
the
is
game
headed
of
back to
football
his second
and the
Super Bowl
shield
in
and what it
3
represents, then
years. So
you're probably in the wrong line of business.
you can seem like a massive dork in your
Well,
press
let's-
conference.
Let's take a look at resumes.
You are the
and
core of this
compare them.
program,
Oh, no.
and we will focus on you every day.
Who?
To Dak,
The players.
JT, JB, Demo, Brock, T-Sizz, Josh Butler, Kalen, Carson, Scooney, you're back there.
Kalen Carson
I don't know
doesn't
if
get a
anybody else
nickname.
snuck in that I missed. It means the world to me that you guys are here. And I can't wait to do this alongside you. To get
I guess
to
we
know
just
you
found out who
guys
the little
at an
Dak
even deeper level. I
tattletale
wanna
group
get to your
is.
hearts. I want to capture your hearts and let you guys get a great
Yes,
feel
sir,
for me. But
Dak.
thank
I'll
you
go to the press
for being here.
conference with you.
It means the world to me.
That's the group that Micah will be
Yeah, I was going to say, you think Mike?
will be tweeting about when he leaves for Philadelphia
Quickly
doubt.
about
as a
culture.
free agent.
Oh, culture,
Things that I
good.
believe in.
Yeah, tell us.
The family first mantra, which is
Hire guys that you know
embodied
his
by the
family.
Jones family.
Have you heard of my family?
To do and make the sacrifices that we make in order to
You know where I'd be without that?
pursue excellence, it requires the sacrifice, and you need to make it fun. My conversation with the Jones has been incredible. We see football the same way. It's a first-class organization all the way. You can't. I've never been in the big room, Jerry. Stephen, I've never been in the big room.
That's good.
But it's first-class organization. But
They just
please
let me get a
understand this.
haircut.
A first-class organization is not just about the structure or the walls. It's about the way that we treat one another, about the way that we earn each other's trust and respect.
The way we give
And the way we
promotions
just
out of nowhere
treat
to
our
guys
fans
who
and
you
treat the
didn't
people
think
that
would get
matter
it.
to us most. What I'm going to challenge these guys to do is to let their personalities shine.
Oh.
We've got some incredible players. We've got incredible
They've
support
been just holding
staff. The
back.
strength staff
Micah's
is here. It
been
means the world to me. You
such a
guys
recluse.
took the time to come up here.
Get yourself a podcast, guys.
But to do what
You know,
we need
we
to do,
were
it's going
never
to take
allowed
incredible
to see
amounts
who
of hard
Zeke
work,
was.
but we're going to do it together.
Oh, together.
Our team, the Dallas Cowboys, will be driven by a competitive spirit and a love for one another.
Dude, this is so Campo.
Lastly, I would be remiss,
For some reason, I was
If I
more
didn't
excited
thank-
about Campo.
My dad.
my family.
No! He's going to cry.
It's been an incredible journey. I've had some opportunities when I was a much younger man that I didn't feel like I was ready. I'm ready now.
You sure about that?
I'm ready.
I know what I want. I know what it looks like. But for you guys that have been with me the whole time,
I know what it looks
my
like.
extended family, I love you. Thank you for being here. To my sister that
His
couldn't
eyes
be
are
here,
too small.
Kristen. I know
That's what
she's
it is.
watching.
We got a
She
sister.
probably has on my dad's Schottenheimer jersey.
We got a
What?
Kristen Schottenheimer, bros.
Your sister has a jersey for when your dad coached?
To my wife, Jemmy.
Lame.
It's been an incredible journey. Lots of ups, lots and downs. You've always been by my side. You're my best friend, and I love you more than you know. To my kids, Sutton and Savannah, thank you for the sacrifice that you made to allow me to pursue
You ever read any books on Germany?
my dream. You are my greatest achievement, and I love you.
Sutton
mom,
and Savannah Schottenheimer, huh?
One of the first ladies of pro football.
This music
What does
is
that mean?
perfect.
When I saw her last night and I had the chance
let's
to
get a shot of
embrace
her.
her, she said, "Baby, you did it. I love you." And in closing my remarks, there's one person that's
closing
not
remarks.
here today,
Brought to you by
but I'd be remiss if I
Frankel and
didn't
Frankel.
mention
Don't forget, if you get in an accident, 214-817,
My father
all threes.
was a
Personal injury
legendary
lawyers.
coach.
They know what the insurance companies are
great
up
man.
to.
We know who your dad was. That's why you're there.
But he was an incredible father. And he's impacted me more than anyone in this
This
profession.
music makes me feel bad for him.
I know he's looking down on me. I know he's proud. And I miss him very much. But I know what he'd say to me.
I always heard like he had
He'd say,
18-hour
"Brian,
days.
building.
He'd sleep at the office. Do you
The
think he was
easy
that
part
good of
is
a dad?
over. It's time to get to work.
The party's over.
I love you, Dad. Thank you, everybody that's here.
All the
Go
partying of
Cowboys.
being an offensive coordinator for some other guy who's.
All right, we'll carry on with questions. And we'll start
Ah,
off
yes. Best part.
David Moore. Oh, Calvin.
Thank you. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. This is for Jerry and Stephen.
Why?
Why did you pick Brian Schottenheimer? What was it about him that you guys felt like he was the right fit for you guys?
What are we?
Should that take that long?
Almost 35 years that I've been involved with the Dallas Cowboys.
I didn't know Leslie Frazier's dad.
I've only missed one Senior Bowl.
It was for
35
Marty's
years.
funeral.
And I think I missed one combine in 35 years. At the NFL, over the last 4 or 5 years,
Oh, yeah, he's definitely crying.
the NFL, we want to come in a day early so that we can visit with prospective coaches for the future of my team and any of the teams. In 35 years, I don't think I've ever visited with a coach, but what in my heart and mind, I wasn't having an interview. I don't think I've ever had a coach visit with me that wasn't prospectively thinking maybe someday our paths might cross.
That's not that unique.
I know Jones might give me a little thought as I'm along the way.
Old Jones.
I've been around a lot of coaches.
We know.
As a matter of fact, I wanted to be a coach. Except I wanted to live better than I thought coaches live. I wanted to drive a little bigger car, and I wanted to fly in an airplane. Had I known what I'm paying them now, I'd have been a damn coach.
Funny.
But having said that, coaching is no, and the makeup of coaches are no stranger to me. On my college team,
A reminder, the
almost
question
3
was,
years
why did you pick Brian
after we won the
Schottenheimer?
national championship, every position coach, the Johnny Majors, the Hayden Frys, the Doug Dickies, every position coach became a head coach. Barry Switzer at Oklahoma. So I've seen it when I was a pup.
But those were good.
Those teams won,
Yeah,
won a
yeah.
lot.
I have a good background
Crying.
in the makeup of what a coach is. To think that you could make a decision in an interview and not have talked, if you didn't and hadn't ever communicated or had a visit, I wouldn't dare have had an interview unless I talked to many, many people that knew that person and had those kinds of life experiences, knew their story, if you will, Schotty. Knew their story.
Schotty.
Pat is here today. Jean, my wife, is here.
Pat the mom.
Is Schotty's mama.
Told you.
When I served on the competition committee, we had many times that we were together. Jean knew Marty. Okay, we knew you. We know what osmosis is, and we know what Schotty grew up around. Not just from that, but we knew. Frankly, from the standpoint of Schotty, those X hairs crossed. Schotty might never have been in our mirror or in our view. Had he not joined us to be with Mike as a consultant 3 years ago, and then has been a coach. I've sat in handfuls of meetings with Schotty. I've listened, I've watched him have deference to his head coach. I've watched him have deference to experience.
And I definitely know he knows how to have deference.
Guys left that around.
That's the key right there.
I figured it out.
Bite his lip sometime when he didn't necessarily agree.
Huh. You've watched him bite his lip.
But he bit his lip, as his daddy would have told him to bite your lip. Have deference.
I mean, he's saying right now he's a yes man.
Yeah.
I've watched him exercise.
He knows when to bite his
things.
lip.
I've particularly been a part of seeing what's brought this players in here today. Guys like that. And I know that Schotty is no stranger to these guys. I know he's no stranger to this building. Now, I get my proverbial ass kicked.
He knows how to get here, like without Waze or
zone.
Google Maps.
Card works on the door.
Without this thing being about me in any way, if you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This
That's
is
like,
as
what the
big a
fuck is
risk
he
as you
talking
could
about?
take. As big a risk as you could take. No head coaching experience. That let me share something with you. With all of that,
are we still on question one?
You just heard him reference his osmosis, his family.
Okay.
Anybody in this room that doesn't believe the apple doesn't go far from the tree has missed it someplace down the road.
He has. He got hired
Especially
from
if there
osmosis.
was an effort to make it that way, and there was an effort.
Marty osmosis.
But then you go around to the countless numbers of coaches that Schotty has served on staff with and been around, the countless players. How often do you have someone that has 25, I'm going to say 25, it may be 26, of years
of
working through the human relationship and working, aspiring to learn, have his ears and eyes wide open and looking for techniques and looking for things that
and
make
I think
coaches
during that
better.
time, Dan, he was never hired by another
Do you
team
have a chance
because
to take advantage
as a
of
head
all
coach,
of
because
that?
he was just too young, and the league
50
doesn't
years
hire
old, which is a puppy.
guys in their 30s and 40s.
Actually,
Yet he's had
that's quite a trend.
25 years being around the kinds of things that he's going to have to draw on.
He's basically like, it's honestly going to shock you guys how long he's been mediocre. Like, crazy.
I like his baggage.
I like his
That
baggage.
experience. But let me say
His baggage or his package?
I was standing with Schotty when he called his mother.
Yeah, there it goes. They're all over the place.
And I
We're going to cry now.
heard the other end, and I was listening to Schotty.
With my pants down.
And one of the things he said to his mama is, Mama, I'm going to get what Daddy didn't get a chance to get, or got a chance but didn't get. And I'm going to get a Super Bowl if it kills me. And his mother, of course, was emotional. This one will be for Daddy. The first one
Oh, good.
will be for him. I don't know.
The second
what you
one's
call
for Savannah and
instincts.
Sutton.
I don't know where you come.
Oh,
I really wouldn't dare try to tell you how Jimmy Johnson got here. I don't want to go into all the psychological stuff that
I
caused
hired
Barry
Jimmy
Switzer
Johnson
to be here. Or Chan Gailey.
Keep
But
going.
it wasn't just about X and O's. And it was about things that were all melded in with some of life's experience and using my own osmosis, how I got here. All of that.
Man,
comes
I'm looking
to
at the
play.
Marty Schottenheimer coaching tree.
I've read where we didn't have but 4 or 5 interviews.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
Coward,
to
Dungy,
think that
McCarthy.
You can make a decision to coach the Cowboys.
Okay.
Relative to the
Tomlin,
number of interviews that you
3
might
Super
have.
Bowl wins right
But
there.
it's a lot of
He's a
Dom
product
Capers, Dick
of a lot of
LeBeau,
time.
Mike Malarkey,
Many
Dick
will say
Geron,
misplaced
Lindy
time
Infante,
or skewed times.
Freddie
I've read
Kitchens,
where I don't
Rob
have a
Chudzinski.
penchant for risk taking.
This sucks.
This is the Freddie
If you
Kitchens
really
hire.
knew my score
It really
sheet,
is.
It's
you
a
would
guy
see
who
that
wasn't
I've
even the
taken
coordinator,
more
but he's
risk in
kind
the
of
last
friends with
5 years than the rest of my life
quarterback.
put together. And sometimes I don't know when I look in that mirror why the risk is taken. With it there. Let me say
Just
this.
in case you forgot the current question.
It was a huge risk to get involved with the Dallas Cowboys.
Why did you
So
choose?
he's
doing this
trying-
again.
And a lot of people that quote unquote
But he's
didn't
trying to
understand
now
or feel like
make
it could be
this
done.
as his gunslinger
I
hire.
spent
This
a
is
nice
outside the
part-
box.
This is his
Tim
Dion.
Cowlishaw, you'll
Right.
remember.
This is his
I
crazy
spent a
hire.
nice part of my early
It's because
4 or 5 years with
you've
the
never heard
Dallas
of him.
Cowboys.
That's why it's crazy.
Defending why not Coach Landry and defending why Jimmy would make a good coach.
Oh, my
I
God.
think one time I said he's worth 5 Heisman trophies to be a good coach.
Then remember the other thing you
Did
said?
I know? No, but
about
I knew Jimmy.
1 of 500?
Okay, had I interviewed countless thousands of coaches? No. No.
Don't
not
need
at
to.
all.
He
So
had
what
won
I'm
like
here to
2
tell you
national
is
championships.
This was a thorough process. Shaded by whatever my experiences have been, shaded by my experiences with Stephen and Charlotte and Jerry, shaded by many things.
He's kind of
all
trying to
are
say
involved
my
in this.
kids are great
And
because
what I
I'm
would
great.
say for the
So how
fans
could Marty's kid not be great,
is
right?
that
Little
yes,
cross multiplication.
to some, and it
solve
might be
for.
couched as
All right.
less than glamorous hire.
Yeah, people are
What I would
saying.
say to you is I got here taking shots.
Oh, a
Not
pun.
shotty shots.
Yeah.
I got here taking shots. Good things have happened. Let me tell you something.
Except for when I knocked
There's
that
some
lady
stuff
up.
to be had over there
Too
where
many
not many
shots.
people go. There is. Don't think for 1 minute I won't take a shot.
You didn't.
This was risky. This is risky.
This is kind of
But by the
brilliant.
same token,
This is
how
just like
often
saying
can you
all
take
in
a
is signing
risk
Dak.
when someone
this
has
is-
had over 30
This is the
almost
craziest,
30
riskiest
years.
hire we've ever had.
Now he's
Get
about to
my
explain why it's
numbers
not.
mixed up, but almost 30 years of being around coaches, of being around players. That's 2/3 of his life, and then the rest of it growing up in a football-oriented, NFL-oriented family, if you will.
I will.
I think this might make something special. So I'm all behind what we're, to say the very least, Clarence, for your benefit, I'm all in here.
Fantastic. Steven laugh. All right. Oh, we're going to do a little mic adjustment here.
Yeah, it's like, look.
So the-
Clarence Hill, All City DLS. You brought up risk. You also brought up Super Bowl. What about this move gets you to the Super Bowl? Because that's what the fans are talking about. And Schotty, by the same token, question for you and for Schotty.
Now we're all
what
that
difference
familiar
can
with
you
him.
make
Oh,
from
my
the Mike
gosh.
McCarthy era, from a cultural standpoint that gets him over the hump?
This is like JK.
Mike's one of my best friends.
yeah. Yeah.
And when you talk about what Mike and this football team has done over the last 5 years.
By the way, I just want to remind everyone
It's been
that there is a
some
world where you are
incredible,
listening to
incredible success.
Deion Sanders give this press conference right now.
one of my greatest strengths
Deion Sanders.
is my ability to create relationships.
Cool.
Or Cliff.
Relationships.
That's
that
you
are
know-
built
Like Cliff,
on
what have you
trust,
done in the league? Well, I don't know.
Respect.
I just had a really
Connection.
innovative, I've been able to
I'm
innovate
really good with
different
X's and
offenses
O's.
around different quarterbacks
But I'm
using
great with
their
people.
skill set.
How's your relationships?
And
I've
boy,
actually been a head coach
the type of
in the NFL, and I
men
kind of
we
had that
have
feel
in this
now.
Locker room
I know there were some mistakes we had made.
are excited about that, and so
No one's excited in the locker room.
I think as we build this thing out, as the culture comes together of this team, that's where I feel like my greatest impact will be felt.
Relationships.
With the relationships, the ability to communicate.
All the best coaches, famously the one
always
at
been
the
someone
helm of the
that
Patriots dynasty.
Oh, man.
Big relationships
good
guy.
at having
You mean McCarthy didn't have good relationships?
dialogue, hard conversations.
Why are they hammering this?
That's the thing
and
is,
I've always tried to paint very
often when you
clear,
hire a head coach, it'll be
bright
like
lines. And that's what I plan
you're
to
trying
do as
to
the
talk
head
about
coach
what
of the
you
Dallas
did
Cowboys.
differently.
Yeah.
And he's kind of the same thing.
Excuse me, speak up.
But way less expensive, I
Yeah.
suppose. That's the key.
Mike McCarthy
Less accomplished.
left some good stuff here.
Stuff.
One of them was Brian. He did leave Mike McCarthy.
Like, why wouldn't? Would you have felt better
that's
about
good
Bones?
Of course, because then you could
Been
go.
a head
It was time
coach. He's
for a
been a very
change.
successful at his coordinator.
Yeah,
I've
very
heard
much so, and it would
And
also
he's
be
got a
an-
dad who was a head coach.
and it would be an unknown at least what the offense is, and I like the unknown as opposed to what I know
We did.
Brian Schottenheimer is.
come to that decision.
Well, what little
Like,
bit we
would
know
you
about
have
him.
been underwhelmed
One
if
of the
they
reasons
hire
we came
Bones
to
as
that
head
decision
coach,
is because there
but
was
then
this
they
decision
promoted Brian Schottenheimer to play call and
available to us
offensive
as well.
coordinator? You'd have been like,
One of the
Oh, yeah.
reasons.
I don't know.
That's how are you going to sell me on that? And they're like,
Schotty
well, wait.
has fantastic support among our players. Key players.
God, I can't wait to
That's,
hear Micah.
that's so
Real support.
Freddie Kitchensy.
Yeah.
And they've seen
Fantastic
him when he
support.
was
The players love this.
on top. They've seen him when it didn't work out so well. That's an advantage here. That's a real advantage. That was big. That was real big. This process,
That's what she said.
I've read where it looked disjointed, it looked untimely, it looked
You
those
know he's
kinds of
reading it.
things. The very nature of the process, the time after we played our last game, and you've all heard me talk about how I felt about Mike McCarthy as being a good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Go
But
on.
that time, those days, to reflect with him and go through many things that we should and wanted to talk about, that caused us to arrive at that. But what we have is an opportunity to take some of the very best things
But your
that
haircut
are here
looks
in
good.
place, Mike's doing,
Thank you.
some of those
I'm
very
just looking at
best
it on the
things,
monitor. The
change
very
some of that,
best.
add to it, and be better for that.
You know, Community
Schotty's
Mechanical
very much
brings you
aware.
this
I've
press
heard
conference.
Schotty referred to as maybe old school with his offensive.
They got a
philosophy.
website?
Have they been out to your place?
Well, I'll tell you
Last
one
week.
thing.
Travis was out there. Community Mechanical is
As these philosophies
communitydfw.com.
or as
It's the
as these offensive
HVAC
philosophies
company.
evolve.
They're a fairly
Okay.
new company as well. They
Schotty has a
are.
good
They've all
feel
left
for
the
not
man,
only the offensive
and they are
philosophies
starting
where they
their
are
own
today,
bit.
but where they're going to go.
They have
and
followed the
certainly
Dumb
where it
Zone,
has been.
left their job, started a company,
That's rare to come in here with this kind of
and
energy.
right now they want to let you know
This
that
kinda,
preventative
I'm gonna
maintenance
show
is
them.
very important.
That's rare to combine
They have
those two things.
come out to my place, and actually they found an exhaust duct
But we'll use
duct
in
in my
place some of the
furnace
many
that was
things that
dumping
we have
carbon
here now.
monoxide into my attic. But you
Brian
can call
Schottenheimer
them
for
or
ESPN.
text
You said in
them.
the beginning that you weren't ready then to take a head coaching job. Why are you ready now?
All right, I'll listen to this and get back to Community Mechanical in a
I
moment.
think, over the past 19 years,
What's that, Rob? Put that back
first
up.
was
I'd like
afforded
to
to
see
me when I
that.
was first-time coordinator with the New York Jets, and
A new copy point
Yeah.
a bright spotlight.
for Community Mechanical.
I just there were things that made me pause.
Oh, we listened to Brian
Now,
Schottenheimer lie.
Spending the better part of the last 19 years learning, listening, doing. I've learned things, almost more things that I don't believe in than things that I believe in.
What are you talking
Todd,
about?
I've always tried to be someone that moves around. I want to be around incredible coaches and players and try to learn.
That's why I get
from
fired
them. And so
every other year
Just life's a journey.
at other places. I
about
like to
seeking
move around.
knowledge.
I like being around a lot of
to
different
my
people.
development as a coach. Pete Carroll challenged me in.
I know Pete Carroll. Too. You think
a
I just
number
know
of
Marty
ways.
Schottenheimer?
There are
He
others.
challenged me to be.
Fucking no, like I could text him today if I
continue
wanted
to.
to.
Be authentic.
I got his number
to
right here.
continue to
You guys
dive
know the
into
guy who calls
relationships
NFL
that
games,
matter,
like the D
which
team?
is your coaches, your players.
I coach
ownership.
Mark Sanchez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He challenged me.
Can you text him?
offensively.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest with you, he challenged me with.
I call him Matty.
Hey, what do you think about this scheme? What do you think about that scheme?
All right, what's the community mechanical? What are those news?
Yeah, so if you book them to come out and take a look at your uneven heating or cooling, they will hook you up with a DZ knit cap.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whether you go with them or not for repairs. You sign up for a little preventative maintenance, they'll get you DZ merch of your choice up to $50. Go hog wild.
469-667-7290. You can call or text.
And if you get a new HVAC system through them, sit-in.
Free sit-in. You can
free sit-in.
hang out in the studio and
change for me. And
look at touch Blake's hair.
And if you did this already, you had them out,
for Stephen and Jerry,
they'll
what do you guys need to
retroactively
do
provide those
differently
benefits to you.
to support Brian.
Right, so thanks,
and
Community
to end
Mechanical. They're great.
The 29-year drought that you guys have between going
Where's
to a Super Bowl.
David?
Well, I think we,
Where is
you
David?
always have to evaluate.
They freezing him out?
No,
he'd be if he were there, he'd be up.
And obviously, we're also evaluating where it didn't go right. In terms of
You guys bothered by Steven's glasses?
this route that
I'm
people
bothered
say
by
we're in
everything about
terms
him.
of
What's
a
the bit?
championship game
Well, so
or
he
a
wears
Super
like
Bowl.
clear cool guy
we just have to
glasses,
continue
clear
to make
frames, but then he
this,
wears like a slight
roster
tint
better.
on them.
I like clear frames.
Certainly be
I want
something
to.
that
I want to get
Jerry,
clear
myself,
frames. Do you think I should or no?
Will and his staff.
You don't like it?
Coach,
I think you might
Schotty
be
and
able to
his
pull it
staff.
off.
We'll sit
Like
down
you have
and
light
take a look
hair.
and see,
But I wouldn't want a tint.
what we have to do better. I think we got a lot of great pieces. You ask why Schotty. I think Schotty's the perfect combination of
We know him.
keeping some continuity, but also affecting change. And we have to support that as well. In terms of being behind him and doing the things he wants to do. I've walked in Schotty's shoes. I have a lot
got
of
a job just because of my dad.
as well, working with Jerry.
That's
Only
awesome.
one reason I have this job.
That's
There's
awesome.
no
Different.
other
Is he
team
gonna
that
do
would
things
sign
different
me.
than
And you're
Mike?
clearly working
Absolutely.
out.
I'm convinced of that.
The only difference is my dad's
I
always
think
been
we
the
got a great
boss, so I
plan
don't
on
get
defense. I
fired.
think we
And
got
I
a
have
great plan
30
on,
years of experience
special
in the
teams. We're putting
NFL,
that
and if
all
I was
together. That
free
has to
right
come
now,
together,
no team would
as a
sign me
staff, and certainly Schotty,
to work for them.
leads that. And as he said, his best, some of his best characteristics are communications and working with people.
and saying
And,
stuff.
I see that. I've taken that in. I've gotten more respect.
What if some of
through
his
this
best
process
characteristics
with
were
him
football
and
knowledge?
Yeah, yeah.
What if that
talking
was
to other
your?
men about the job? But certainly we'll do a.
This is like the
real
therapy.
deep
They're bringing the
dive
team
on
therapist.
putting
his
some
his best.
personnel together, whether it be through the draft, free agency. I know, typically that's.
How do you
not
guys like
been the
those
way,
star
we've done this
lapel
team,
pins?
But we'll
Those are
certainly
pretty
look
sweet.
at it and
Kinda want one.
put really.
Oh, wait, I forgot. I'm
not
supposed to
only
stop buying
players, but
merch,
good
stop going to
football character
games,
people
hit 'em
with
where
some
it
of the men
hurts.
we have in this room.
Yeah,
right
you know
now.
what? Let's
And
boycott
we have a lot of great
the
players
first
on this
game.
team. And certainly no one
Fans.
has excuses.
Chill.
We had a few challenges this year.
I'm not
on
going
the
to training
injury front, and that's why we think we do
I am.
need to keep some continuity. Certainly every team, when they're looking
I'm
for
gonna tell
a
Matt
coach
Grimm
out
on
there is
you.
looking, what's in the best interest of the quarterback. Certainly that played a role here.
I'm going to Tennessee
And,
Titans training camp with
Dak's not
Brandon
making
Aubrey.
any
I'll go to
coaching
that one.
decisions,
I heard he
nor
was
does
getting
want
traded
to,
for.
but, I can tell you every team who made a
Show
coaching
Dak.
decision
Dak
was
sucks.
looking at how they solve
He
for the
does.
quarterback. And, that's how you win in
Like
this league.
this is why you
I
have
think
this head
we've got,
coach, because Dak likes him.
Yeah.
One of the best, if not
They're
the
just
best.
two missionary bros.
In terms of our quarterback.
They are. Phew.
And he's.
And then they'll talk
the
about
son
it
of
the
Marty
next day.
Missionary.
and we
Yeah.
just have to continue to put the pieces around. And, we're
If
not
we did
naive,
this just
I
so
know,
Dak doesn't
our
have to learn
fans,
new words.
they're not going to believe.
He's like,
and-
"God, I got a
and
lot
there's gonna
going
be
on,
pressure,
dude. I got
until we
kids."
get the job done. And,
It'd be great if the only thing they
certainly we didn't get
changed
the
is
job
here
done
we
this
go.
year, and
He doesn't do
our
here we go,
ultimate
though.
goal is to
see
win
the
a
new
Super Bowl.
Schotty.
I can tell you,
That'd be very
Little
fun.
I've
wrinkle.
never seen a man more driven than Jerry. This is huge to him to go get this championship.
You don't need to blow him.
And I know Coach
You-
Schottenheimer.
you already got your job.
Believes the same thing, and I know our players sitting in the back.
But he wants to.
I mean, they want it.
He wants full
they're driven
control
to
of
get
the,
it, and
empire.
We've got to get the right people to put around them. We'll
Oh,
have
yeah.
turnover in our roster
Kendall.
like
He's
we
looking
do
over-
every year.
looking over his
And our
shoulder
goal
and
is to
seeing
put together
he
the best
sees
roster in the NFL.
Spalding.
Siobhan.
Steve Spurrier told me.
Steven is
I
so
called him
stressed
and
about the cap.
Asked him about Schotty as a ball player.
That's
how
all he
got
talks about.
there.
Now we're gonna have to turn over this
He
roster
said, well, to
somehow.
start with.
We're gonna
Hold on,
figure
Steve
it out
Spurrier knows.
somehow.
And all
First
Jerry talks
touchdown
about is another
pass
old guy he cold.
In our national championship season.
Steve Spurrier
I got
back up
mad at
to
my
Danny
Heisman Trophy
Werfel.
winner
Or excuse
under
me,
center
Schotty back
and
up to
sent
Danny
him out there and
Werfel.
damned if he didn't throw the
Really?
That I was a big
touchdown
fan
pass.
of.
But he
Throwing
told me
to
a
Chris
lot about
Doring.
Schotty. I called
Soroy
Pete
knows.
Carroll to talk about Schotty.
Told you guys.
Why did y'all split up? Why'd you fire Schotty if you fired him? How'd that happen? So we got into that.
Well, what'd he say?
Real good. Coach Schotty has been effusive about the impact of not only his father, but Pete and the people that have shaped him along the way. But it's kind of interesting. Old Will and his staff, they go to the next door neighbors of these players that we're drafting or look at drafting and get that next door neighbor to talk about them at that time. Boy, you need to do that when you're dealing with a head coach. Now, I didn't have to go to the next door neighbor with
What
Jeff.
would my neighbors say about me?
Yo, I was just thinking the exact.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm all.
But
like,
man, I've been.
Yeah, I
to this
have to
guy's
text
next
him all
door
the
neighbor.
time because he leaves, like his sprinkler's broken and it leaks into our yard, and I got a giant puddle in my.
Things seem to really fall off the table.
Yeah.
John Machota with The Athletic. For Steven.
My neighbor would be like, well, his
we
dog
know that
hasn't
you
killed
met
my chickens
multiple
yet.
times with Brian.
Dude, they're
several
outside?
hours. Can you just
Oh, yeah.
kind of go behind
Oh,
the
yeah.
scenes
The
and
press conference, yeah.
share some of the stuff that was talked about
Well,
during
is it that or the open?
You guys kind of felt comfortable
Like
making
that
him
big
the next head
glass.
coach?
You know, as
They're
I
not in the
said,
normal room.
and
No, what are they doing
probably
outside? It's
anybody
freezing
have
out.
Respect, for what Schotty's role was. I mean,
Maybe they're
Mike
on the
was our
field.
play caller. He was our head coach, and then he was our play caller. And Schotty was there to support him as the offensive coordinator. But I think some of the most important things for us after you get to know the man better and you see the energy, you see the way he can communicate with Jerry, with myself, with the room.
Speaks really good
that
English.
Jumped out at you. But the bigger thing, as I mentioned, we certainly want continuity, but we also want change. And
this guy has a
just
different
felt
name.
Like,
This is not change.
we need something that's going to freshen it up.
See how long his last
Mike did
name
one
is?
Hell of a job here.
It's so different.
He's the winningest coach, I think, in the history of the franchise. Had an unprecedented, 3-year run, winning 12 games. So, Mike did a lot of great things here.
Why didn't you just
But at
bring
the
him
same
back
time,
then?
Yeah.
That would have been a lot better.
Did you guys try?
I
What
was
happened?
supportive of it. That we did need change, and we wanted to hear.
Let's go there and ask
how
what
that
was the
gonna
offer
happen.
to Mike McCarthy.
And,
Sure.
It's not just the X's and O's.
Let's
We
get it out
obviously
there.
Went extensively.
And
through
let's
the
compare
X's
that
and
to
O's,
what
but
you're
we
paying
also,
Brian Schott.
you
He
get
has to
into
be
the
the
schedules,
lowest
you get
paid
into
head coach
how
in the
you,
NFL.
get
It'll
your
be bottom
players
five.
Because they're like,
motivated, how
look,
take
you can
care
make
of
other
your
money. You're
players.
the coach of
All
the Dallas
those
Cowboys.
things are,
And
part
my
of being a
guess
head
is
coach, and it's a
they
lot,
sold
and
him
that's
the same
why,
thing they
a
tried to
lot of
sell
people sometimes
Big
scratch
Mike,
their
which
head,
was
why
incentives.
would you go with a
Oh,
first-time head
dude.
coach?
Yeah, he's like, oh, sure.
That's been the way of the league
What
these
could stop
days.
me? I'm doing it
Most
for
He's
Daddy.
making like
with these
$38.5
young offensive wizards.
It's just
that
with a
hadn't been
$4
head
million
coaches.
incentive
But I
if he
think we've
wins
got
the
a better
Super Bowl.
version of that because
Against draw.
of Schotty's experience.
But
I mean,
look,
everybody's mentioned it.
full
25
benefits.
years of NFL
Yeah, you get to
coaching
use the cafeteria.
and a whole lifetime.
His haircuts
of being
are
around it.
as
He
many
played
as you
the
want.
game.
And this little lapel pin. Here you go. That's,
High level of competition in college.
that will be
Certainly that,
deducted from your paycheck.
Made an impression on him.
I was
But
thinking
it
about
was real important. The
Sean
more we
McDermott
met,
yesterday
the more we wanted to
and this
meet.
press conference
And
today.
I think that was helping us.
I think the only
come
thing
to a
he
conclusion
Schottenheimer could have
on
done
what that
today was
decision
some
should be
sort
in
of
terms
9/11 thing.
Coach Schottenheimer
That would
being
have
our
made
next
me
head
be like,
coach.
okay.
And then for Brian, real quick, just what was that moment like when it was Jerry or Steven or whoever told you, hey, we're moving forward with you, you're the next head coach?
Humbling.
Hey-o!
There's so many incredible coaches in this profession at every level. Again, I think I look back on my journey and, the fact that I'm
It'd been
sitting
funny
up
if he
here
would have been like,
with these two men
well,
in
when
front
they
of you
called,
guys,
I knew it was down to me and Leslie
is a
Frazier.
great lesson
So I felt
for
pretty good.
coaches. It's a great lesson for my kids, for some of our players about persistence. And you get knocked down, you get back up, and you keep working. And
You know the best part of
I'm
this is
incredibly
they're going to try, but the media doesn't respect this guy.
honored to be
Like they
sitting
did
in this
McCarthy.
chair because it's such a
So when things are going poorly, they're going to
profession
smell blood.
with so
Like, do you
many
remember how it used to get
great
with Campo?
coaches.
Oh,
When
yeah.
I got the
Not just
news,
Ray Stone. Like, they didn't really
Oh, yeah.
respect him.
They're 3-9.
And when it starts going sideways, they don't
really couldn't speak.
hold back on it.
I really couldn't speak, and immediately I went to
Facebook.
seeing my father's face.
If they start 3-9, will he
and
get
knowing
fired?
How proud he would
It's
be.
probably set up where they can fire him.
And I'll say he turned around and called his mama right there in front of us. and
Called his mama.
That was very emotional.
Did you guys see SNL this week by
I kinda
chance?
set him up. I said, you are
some of it.
They did a bit that was
first-time coach.
very, very good, at
And
least
I
on
believe
paper.
we're
There's a play on
hanging around the
edible
rim.
arrangements
I
called
think we've got
edible
in place-
arrangements.
think we've got
The
in
whole
place
premise is which it's
a
just
team
gifts
that
for sons
can
to
get
give
there
their moms
right
that they
now.
want to bone.
I had other
like
coaches
Oedipus,
tell me that we're
I don't
wanting
know
the
what
job.
Oedipus is.
You're
I know
right there.
I know the word.
It's about wanting to
Right
bone your
there.
mom.
This,
Oh, it is?
that,
Yeah, like, I
and
can't
the
remember if
other.
it's Greek or whatever.
So I
Mythology.
started to explain to him,
Oedipus
very
Rex?
tongue-in-cheek,
What is that?
that
That's
I
something?
just couldn't
That I don't know.
take the risk
All
of
right.
going with someone that was doing it for the first time.
Why is that in
and
my
then
head?
proceeded to go over some of the things that we talked about
Yeah, it's a
right
book.
there. And
Sophocles.
that's how he found out. He started, in my mind, finding out I'd be
Yeah, this is that's
Probably the
main-
same stuff, right?
Yeah,
Monday
yeah.
morning coaches meetings.
And now today
And
we
we'd
have
be
a
sitting there, and
MILF tab.
this year, more often than not, I'd have my head down and just be sitting here listening. And all of a sudden, that Schotty would pop out with something. I go, hell, that's pretty good. This is kind of a somber morning. That's pretty damn good. Okay.
Give one example.
Those are the kinds of things that give you an advantage if you've been.
I just want to say,
have
too,
proximity.
I plan on doing this show
And
for a
that
long
was an
time and
edge
reviewing this tape.
to go along with the
Even if
many
he's
boxes
awesome,
over here that were not
It's
checked.
still okay to
That
say
was
the
kind of
process
the edge.
here was a disaster.
Nobody, no situation
Right?
checks all the boxes.
Even if he ends up being good, they would have lucked into it.
He won't.
Nick Harris, forward Star Telegram. This first one's for Jerry right here in the front.
Well,
Nice shack
Right
it,
here, right
Nick.
Right here. You obviously know
You need
the
to
fans
shack
here
it,
right
Dan.
very well. When you talk to fans are super impatient. They see two NFC East teams playing yesterday. Obviously, the
Not
drought that we've
me,
spoken
but
to.
the
I know you've
fans,
spoken
though. These
to
people,
fans
it's fanatic. These
today,
people are
but why
crazy.
should fans buy into Brian Schottenheimer?
Well, you have touched on one point. Our fans have been very patient.
Don't pander to me.
30.
And through you to them.
So what's that jacket he was
I
wearing?
want to tell them how
The
appreciative
shacket is like
that
a
I am
sweater jacket.
of the support
It's a good look.
and of their
I can't pull it
interest
off, but I
in
feel
the
like as like
Dallas
a
Cowboys.
former hacky sack guy, you can.
Yeah, there's a whole
I don't
bunch
even know
of
if you
those
played
fans
hacky
that
sack,
look
but
and are
you
interested
scan as
because they
someone who
wanna
did.
see me grapple,
It's a good look.
grovel,
Just Google
whatever it is.
shacket.
Might have tried it.
But I'm not putting that up there much. But to those fans who have been with us, this decision to bring Schotty in is risky.
Oh, I
It's
just want to
a,
restate.
It's not a Hail Mary
bullshit
at all in any way.
No, we don't
But
think it's a Hail
founded
Mary.
over some very unique, as I
We
started
think it's
off, unique sets of
it's 4th and
circumstances.
15, and you handed the ball off.
You ran a little draw.
Much our
off right guard
fans
or something. Yeah, it's.
are into the Dallas Cowboys. And for me to be into it is no solace at all. We're interested, they're interested, I'm interested in getting to those playoffs and winning. This is the best way that we can go to the playoffs and win.
The Dumb Zone.
My next one's for Brian, if I could, really quick. You've worked with Dak Prescott for 3 years
Check
now.
it.
Obviously, he had a lot of support for you. What do you feel like you two can work on together to unlock even more of his game?
Well, before I respond to that, I'd like to go back with one thing, Nick. Like,
Remember my dad?
I'm not doing this by myself. I've got the incredible support of Jerry, Steve, and the Jones family. The young men that are sitting behind you, we're doing this together. So
that's important.
My message to
when we are 3
Cowboys
and 9.
Yeah, hey,
Remember
it wasn't
all
all
these
me,
other
dude.
people?
I
do
didn't
this
fumble the
together.
ball.
And we're going to build this thing the right way. We're going to get the culture right. The X's and O's will come. That doesn't matter. But
I feel like it does.
And the work ethic
The
of
X's
these
and O's,
guys
I feel
that
like
sit behind me,
they're going to matter quite a bit.
incredibly humbling that
Yeah.
they know what it takes to win too. So it's not just me.
No,
it'll be
you're
me
going to
and
go
the
to
staff.
training camp, Blake, just so we can have Dan.
I'm not going.
Dan's going to tell Schotty to his
You've worked with
face that he
Dak for the
doesn't know
last 3
what
years.
humbling means.
What do you feel like you can get out of him? What do you feel like he can get out of
Yeah,
you?
let's
as well?
remember my question, bro.
You know, iron sharpens iron, and
I think it's
Dak and I have
Iron.
an incredible relationship, just like I have an incredible relationship with all these guys.
So the way I will
Dak and I know how
unlock
to push each other's
him to
buttons.
play better is
Vibes.
the relationship.
Yeah.
And we'll just talk about stuff and his new baby and is the poop still solid yet? Or
Did you catch that new Dude Perfect
we kind
vid?
of had a thing in place where it was like if you throw an interception, you come out. And so
dog attacked a neighbor
I took
lately.
Dak out and he's like, what? Like he pushed back. He's like, and the competitor in him is special. And so I think
basically, I
he and
can't make him
working
listen to
together,
shit either.
Along with the rest of the guys, putting together.
Yeah, I
the
kind of have this
system.
way I do things. And
There'll be
Dak said
tweaks.
no.
There's going to be changes, but.
If
the
Dion
type
is
of
up there,
worker
is Jerry ever
that
saying, you know what?
changes
I just knew he knew when to
an
hold his
entire
tongue and not to give his opinion.
organization.
Of course not.
Like,
And
why would that be a
I think he and I
prerequisite
see
to
the
getting
game
a
of football
job?
Offensively,
It's the only one. But you're right, yeah.
And we'll have tons of.
He would be saying, I know this guy
communication moving
knows
forward
how to
on,
make his voice heard.
Some of the thoughts of things we want to do, whether
Like,
it's tempo or some
you
of the
kind
different
of
things
want
we're trying
some
to do
give
with
and
our
take.
play-action
You want
passing
some
game, the run game,
pushback,
things
some-
like that.
Sure.
Like, you know what? When
he's
we
easy to
don't
talk to.
add another wide receiver or
And,
running back or whatever,
I love
this
and
guy's not
respect
going to
him
say a
along with all
word.
those guys.
Mike McCarthy, little lippy about that.
Yeah.
DallasCowboys.com. Two questions. The first,
Jake Camp, The Dumb Zone, No Puppet Productions.
What Jerry and Steven both said
Are we
as far
keeping
as,
mojo moments?
freshening things up, looking for a change. From a head coach perspective, that's going to key in on the offense.
This is a long
Generally
question, a
speaking,
really long question,
how
a
do
really
you
long
look
question.
To move forward as far as modernizing the offense. You talk about solving for the quarterback. What does that look like under a Schottenheimer era?
Yeah, again, I go back to my days with Pete.
That's the first time I
think if you go
considered
back
the
and you look
term
at some of the things we did in
Schottenheimer
Seattle,
era. That doesn't feel good.
Obviously, the starting point for me would be
Error.
things that our players
Does this make
do
it
well.
17
You're always gonna
games?
Start with that.
Yes.
If your system's
No.
not flexible enough to do what your players do well, then
Will be
you're
that
probably in
bad.
the wrong business. But
It's
You got
inspiring.
Eberflus,
He's
we can slide him over
I'm a big
between the
believer
pipes.
in
No, it'll have to be
shifts and motions to
live
distort
boy,
things.
dead girl for it to be less than one
We're going to do a
season.
great job of marrying our runs and our passes and
wait,
make those.
wait,
That's a
slow
big
down,
deal.
slow down. I'm
That's
trying to
a
write
big-
this
I'm
down.
proud to say that
You're going to have
two
runs
different times,
and what was the second
in
thing
my
you're going
career
to
as a
do?
coordinator,
You're
we
going to
led
throw the ball.
rushing.
Pass.
Married.
And they go hand in hand.
Oh!
The running game and the action passing game go hand in hand. But I would say
Well, I thought you didn't know X's and O's,
there's
but listen to this guy.
There's a tempo element.
Who is
that we're
that? Who's
excited
the
to
line? Who
mix in,
is that?
Our players have all shown.
God, I bet you
affinity
feel like
for
if
it.
you're on the
And-
team,
and
you
let me
have to wear
expand on that a
Dak's
little
hat
bit.
too.
Why
Yeah.
do players like tempo? Well,
kinda
they like
cool,
tempo
but-
because it.
If they start
allows them
2-7,
to play
he's
free.
getting fired.
No, he's not. We're
You
going
guys
to run
heard
and
some of the
pass.
play
Yeah.
calls. Dak could rattle off 4 or 5 of them right now. They're pretty long. So when you go fast and you're playing on the ball, these guys, it's a little bit more like pickup basketball, you know. And
I know how
probably the biggest
tempo
things
works.
that I would say from an offensive standpoint.
From a personnel and roster building standpoint, salary cap management as well for Jerry and Steven. You guys talked about learning some hard lessons, especially from 2024, depth issues once you guys were ravaged by injury.
They didn't
Just as
learn
far
a
as
damn
salary cap
thing.
management
Yeah,
goes, free
what they did
agency
was
and
say,
the like.
what if we didn't replace
Looking in
anyone?
the mirror is one way that you can learn things. Another way
He
is to
always
look
wants
at
to
what your
insert his
opponents and
opinion into
enemies
his
are
effing
doing and
questions.
kind
It
of
drives
take
me
from their strategies.
nuts.
When you look at a team like the Eagles,
Just
for
ask your
example, do you
damn
feel there's
question.
anything that you guys can kind of take from their strategies?
I feel
seeing
like
as
this is still kind of
they
the
handle free
pre-game of the
agency a
show.
certain
Can I
way and they're
vape?
back in the Super Bowl
Yes.
this year that kind of could work for the Cowboys going forward?
Yeah, I think you certainly look at that. I think you look at your competitors in your conference, what it's going to take to have success, whether that's a 49er team or whether that's an Eagle team.
Serious question, would Will
Obviously,
Shipley have been the best
49ers,
back on the Cowboys
had
this
the
year?
injury bug situation.
Dowdle
and,
was good.
In this salary cap era, if that
Could have used him,
injury,
though.
bug hits you hard enough, it's it can be difficult to overcome. And but at the same time,
It's the injury bug.
That's the goal is to
We're getting Sam
really
Williams
do a good
back, we're
job
getting
with your
Overshown
draft,
back.
college free agency. That should be where.
Never mind the fact
your
Diggs
strong
won't be ready
depth
until
is.
November.
Obviously, this year we were counting on playing those guys right
So
away.
I love Community
And,
Mechanical,
they had to jump right in,
our
and
HVAC
as the
company,
injuries
and they're
came,
doing
more
the
and more had to
6-9,
jump
the sit-in.
And,
They will buy you a
but I think
sit-in
the bigger
if
thing
you
here
buy
is just where can we,
an HVAC, an air conditioning conditioning unit or
has
something.
been our goal in the past. Where
They
can
stole
we,
that bit
you
or
know,
borrowed
in
it from
free
Qualis
agency,
Roofing.
take care of some
Qualis
needs,
kind of invented
so
that.
when the draft comes,
They put
you
the
are
roof
able,
on my
Well, they
house.
stole
to
it
take
from
the best
Scene.
player on
Well,
the board, not unlike
go
we
ahead.
did with
Kind of,
CD.
yeah.
We weren't
Yeah,
necessarily in that
Qualis.
draft looking
Anyway,
for a
Qualis
receiver.
Roofing is
But CD Williams,
QualisGC.com.
CD
They're
Lamb sitting
awesome. They're
and
huge
you,
listeners.
you know, it's obvious.
And
what
yes,
you do there. And,
they,
I
if
think
you do get a new
some
roof,
things in
they
free
will pay
agency,
for a sit-in on your
you know,
behalf.
like we've done in the past. Or
Also,
take
if you
care of
just
your
get a
roster
roof
before the draft
inspected,
comes around, you have a much
they will
better
hook you up with a
chance. But
Dumb Zone
certainly,
T-shirt
you
or
look
a
at the
subscription
blueprints,
to the Dumb
everybody
Zone.
does it different.
Wow.
Kansas City's,
So
doing
why
a
don't you
great
check
job
it out?
bringing young guys along,
Apparently,
and,
insurance
you know,
companies
those
recommend
type of
having your
things.
roof
And, like a
inspected
team like
at least
Philadelphia,
twice a
certainly look
year.
at the
There's
way
no
they're
way
doing it,
you've
where they
ever
went
done
out
that.
and, you know, did some
Like,
things
so
with
at least
some
do it
veteran
once.
players. You
Do it.
have to take a look at that.
With
And
Qualis.
then you gotta find exactly what fits
817-500-9008
your core, your DNA with our players and what
or
we have, and what gives us the best
QualisGC.com.
chance, to compete against
This
certainly you start
Wednesday,
with
I
your
will have
division,
the
Eagles,
Brian Evans
the
Qualis
Commanders, and
Roofing
the
interview
Giants,
up on Business
and then
Wednesday.
you stretch that out.
We did that
and what does
last
it
week,
take
but
you know, to beat the 49ers, to beat
I wasn't
the
able to
Rams,
post it in time.
certainly
And you
those are
did
all
it
things
with a
that come
roof
into
over your head.
I did it with a
I'll
Qualis
answer this,
roof over my head.
It's money management, cap.
Good dude. State-of-the-art
financial.
tools, it says right here, not like some
What
old
about
crap.
the Cowboys?
Like they got new
What
stuff.
about the Cowboys?
Your counterparts rode over with me on this little jet airplane, rode over to my home in Little Rock, Arkansas. And we got off the plane.
Was the
rolled
lady
up
on
there
it
to
the
pick
one you
us up.
impregnated?
It was a 5-year-old dirty Ford Bronco.
Oh, yeah. He tells the Broncos story.
And they got off and said,
Why you got that car?
this
He's like,
doesn't make a
oh.
lick of sense. You just bought the Cowboys and you're flying a jet and you drive up here in a 5-year-old dirty Bronco.
God, dude.
And I said, it makes perfect sense.
It's not the biggest
You can't
beating of a
have it
car
all.
ever.
No, it's
like
not.
a 5-year-old
You gotta
car is not
sacrifice
like.
someplace to get the other.
Yeah.
If you try to have it all,
I know Blake goes
you
and
can pay
has
the fiddler when you've
goes
used
and
up
has a
your credit.
meal with his
That's
grandpa
salary
pretty
cap.
often and just
That's a
hangs
salary
out.
cap. Not
I did that a
one
lot with my
we won't
grandfather
hear,
towards the
"Oh,
end
what
of his
about that
life. I'd
team?
go
They've
once
got
a week.
The same salary cap issue you
Uh,
do, and they've got.
Boy, I'll
that
start to
done.
get really worried if
Well,
my
it's because all
grandson
teams
starts
are
having a
different
weekly
and
meal
they've
with me.
made
Yeah.
those decisions.
Well, let me
They
tell you,
I'm
moved
about to
along.
die.
This
We
is
want
exactly
to,
what it sounds like.
improve
You're like, oh, the Bronco. Did you
significantly
have one?
how
Cool. Like
we are
the same
doing the
story
cap.
every
Oh, you'll hear the same story
single
from Grandpa?
time.
When you're invested in
That happened.
players that have injuries.
Yeah, I started taking notes.
Yeah, I started
injuries.
recording it
So the
because
cap
it's like,
can take a
And
big
the amount of
hit at
notes I
that
take
time,
now are
cap
way less.
management.
yeah,
Oh,
But it's
okay.
still
So
there.
we've done this one.
yeah.
It's
We've
still
heard
there. It's
about
as
the
real
credit
as
card,
if,
and
it was
when you
never
bought the
there,
Cowboys, you had to
availability
fire
of it.
Tom Landry.
And so,
and
if somebody thinks
trading
it's
for
daunting,
Dion.
I try
The Herschel
to answer
Walker
you
trade,
when we're
yep.
talking. And so you hear me talk
whenever
about,
he's justifying
well, we have
one
to
of his
manage
current
the
day
cap.
moves.
Why not this?
He's
free
always got
agent? Why
something
don't
from
you
the
go
Jimmy
do this?
Johnson
Not
era.
necessarily, why didn't you
that he
go
can say,
do
"See,
that
that worked."
with that?
Yeah.
Or the timeliness
like,
of how you did it, but why didn't you
There
go
really
do that?
isn't
That's all
one from the
management,
last 20
okay?
years he brings up.
I want our fans to know that I can manage really good.
Oh.
I do real well managing. I do real well managing. I know that that bank account's full, that doesn't mean you got money. It just means you hadn't paid your bills due 60 days from now. So you got to look around the corner. You got to be
So
good
he has
at it,
told
and
you
gotta
why
live
he's not
with the
spending
time
on
that
free
you're
agents
looking
again.
around the corner.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
And so that's what you see here. No apologies. Everybody has to do it. We obviously hadn't done it well enough.
Now, Jerry, is that why
I
you
think
can't
our
pay your
first
coach more?
Super Bowls that I was involved in
Because of
were
the salary
before
cap?
And so we have to do a better job.
Oh,
in
That's
that area.
what
just
we've
blamed
been
the cap.
saying.
We've just
You
blamed the
bet you
cap.
can.
He
Now, all
actually
in,
finally said
we
it.
just spent some of it.
The
for
Super Bowls
Dak.
I
We
won
spent some
were
of it
before
for
the
Lamb.
cap.
We spent some of it
Huh.
for several of our players. It was an allocation.
Seemingly meaning you have
an
no
anticipation
ability
of
to
what we
manage
weren't
the
gonna
salary
spend or
cap.
not spend in the future.
And your
all of that said,
dynasty.
All of that said,
purchased.
We.
Stephen, me, spend a lot of time in this area. And I'm not talking about just sitting there in the office on a chalkboard. I'm talking about 3 o'clock in the morning when you can't sleep and you're sitting there doodling that cap.
Brad Sham, 105.3 The Fan. Brian, how long have you been
thinking about and prioritizing being a head coach, and
Is that a
did this
burp?
opportunity surprise
That's from
you?
me.
Humbly speaking, Brad.
Golly, dude, we
when I
get
was
it.
3 for 3.
20 years old,
lost my
22
monitor.
years old. I was throwing the first touchdown pass of the 1996 National Championship season. I actually had a card in my wallet that I had written down a goal. And it said I wanted to be the youngest head coach in the history of the National Football League. I think at the time it was David Shula. And
Much
that's
to my
when I started
surprise.
thinking about it. And that's why when a couple of these opportunities didn't work out for different reasons.
Somebody else's fault.
I thought for a while it might not happen. But
So did
Well, it
everyone
did.
a lifelong dream.
else.
You did
How
not
do you
become
wake
the
up
youngest head
every
coach.
day in a household
So it didn't
with
happen.
your mentor, your best friend, see the sacrifice and the work ethic that he does. Someone told me, it's a cute story.
I'll bet
They
it's
told my
not.
dad, they said, hey, is Brian getting into coaching? And he goes, yeah, I'm trying to talk him out of it. I don't want him to, and his mom sure doesn't want him to do it. But I did. And I think it was his really good friend, Bill Cowher, that said a year or two later, he
There's
said,
another guy I knew.
Marty, you're missing the boat. He said, the fact that Brian got into coaching is a compliment to you because you made it fun for him. He respects you, and he's following in your footsteps. And so it's been a lifelong dream, a lot of work. But like I said, that note card was in my wallet at an early age, and
Right next to my rubber.
it's been a long time.
Hey, you
coming.
guys know
But it's
how I'm a real cool, manly bro, and how every time I'm going to tell you a story, I preface it with, here's
I
a
think
cute
as the
story.
conversations went and we talk more and more. No, I think there's a ton of
Here's a cute story.
reason. Steven's already touched on it.
I feel like
The
Brian Schottenheimer
continuity through
legitimately
change.
gets upset when his wife has
I know
book
the
club.
players. I know
Aw,
the building.
you are?
I know our strengths. I know our weaknesses.
You have to go out of town?
I know our issues.
What am I going to do?
Is there any way I can go with you and
And the
just
more
kind of
and
hang out
more
in the hotel room?
We
You
got
put me in
into
your suitcase?
conversations, sitting around and just discussing different things.
Can we FaceTime every night?
Just leave it on the pillow
And
so I can wake up and look at you.
here we are.
Let me say this. We wanted Brian to call the plays. We cherish his relationship with our players. We wanted him to call the plays. As my mind and our mind would drift around to alternatives, I believe, he doesn't have to speak for this, but I believe if he doesn't call the plays, he probably not with the Cowboys.
Well,
he doesn't have to speak to that, and he probably might not know himself, really. I'm not anyway talking down. But I know one thing, one of us, I think Jerry, said, have you ever thought about that if we've kind of gotten over in this area of potential head coaching with Brian to some degree, the conversation he's referring to? And Jerry said, you know something, if we went that way,
Is this a Jerry Jr. hire?
as much as we've gone down the path, there'd be some heartbreak here. There'd be some knock the slats out from under.
He'd be sad if you didn't
I'm
hire
just
him.
giving you an idea of how the process was going.
You should
as we
hire
were
him.
Looking at
What he
alternatives.
You don't wanna
basically
make
just said,
Schotty sad.
what he
That
basically
might
just
be
said
coaching the
is
Dallas Cowboys.
they were going to
Brian
hire him as
calling the
offensive
plays.
coordinator because
So,
he's
having
that
said
good at
that,
calling plays. So if he's going to be
Just
the
to
OC,
give you
why not
a
just make him
little
the
bit
head
of
coach?
insight,
But he
Brian,
hasn't
I'll
been
tell you
calling
this,
plays.
My lifelong dream was to get involved in sports and pro ball.
And then I bought the Dallas Cowboys.
And my master's thesis
It was
was
a big
the role
risk.
of
Oh, master
communication
thesis.
in modern day football.
I've heard that one.
Had I not had that dream, had I been sitting there, I was 46 when I bought the Cowboys. Had I not
You know,
been
my
sitting there
master's thesis was actually
for
on how legacy
25
brands
years,
and
every
entertainment
moment
get
thinking about,
stagnant
my God,
and
I'd
lose
watch
the
that Lamar Hunt
ability
and
to
he'd
be
be up there
agile
with
and
the
pivot
Chiefs.
and end up crumbling from within
Well, I was doing that.
while they are
the same
beaten by
mind
smaller
would come home
upstart
from college
competitors.
and go out in the backyard with a stick and a ping
That's
pong
true.
ball and play a complete World Series by
I've read
myself.
Xerox Kodak
ball
ass
over the
football
fence.
team.
So
A
that
blockbuster ass
If
franchise.
you hadn't dreamed about it, if you hadn't gotten ready to go, when that damn train comes by, you'll be grabbing air on that camoose.
Camoose?
You have had to have thought and pictured
Did he say
yourself
camoose?
that way a long time, or you'll miss that damn train.
I think he said camoose.
Yeah, you have to.
All of this,
When you're moosing the caboose, you got the
was
camoose.
in my mind. That's all of this was there. And why is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
You are the
Tim
camoose.
Kalishaw, Dallas Morning News, back here in row 3.
Bring the heat, Timmy
Appreciate the
C.
shout out earlier.
Here we go.
Having
Here
said
we go.
that, you know, since your last NFC Championship game, this is the 7th coaching hire you've made.
Here we go, Tim.
That's a unique
Bring it.
situation among GMs. Others do not get that luxury. How would you tell the fans again how this unique system is working?
Well, it makes it unique. Because
Great question.
The Dallas,
That
I've
is.
been with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys have had 7 coaching hires, and it happens I've been here for those 7 coaching hires.
That's awesome.
Go on.
It
I'm
just
not so
turns
sure,
out.
You know, average time a head coach coaches in the NFL is about 3.4, 3.5 years that they coach in NFL average time. I'm not for sure what it is with the general managers. It could be less or more than that, but it's a big turnover, especially the last 10 or 15 years with you there, okay? And if I could ever think, the story I just told Tim, I got up and I went to work and I lived on that hope and that promise, and I had a lot of gas. And my point of telling the ping pong ball and bat story was I can live in those dreams, and I live real good there. But I'm practical enough to know you can't eat those dreams. So you got to go put some hard action to it. Life is real. But boy, those dreams are real there too. I'm dreaming of the Cowboys playing in a game like the one I saw last night when the Eagles were sitting up there with those Chiefs.
We've seen you in those games. You're the Redskins in that game. You're the one giving up 50.
I've never quit dreaming about it. I want that.
He's going to cry.
Jane Slater, NFL Network. Jerry, to a lot of us on the outside, it did look like this process took a bit. What was the reason for that? Did you ever...
At least you threw us in there.
During your conversations with
She didn't
Mike
say
that
fans.
you thought that he would stay? Was there something that came up in those conversations that you needed a change? And what did he say, or some of the coaches that you reached out to, give you confidence that this was the guy that you needed, particularly given some of the criticism about some of the decisions in the coaching in recent years?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I wasn't aware of any clock. Where's the clock? There are a hell of a lot more important things than a clock. Take a long time to do this. How about the timing to do that? If I'd have screwed around with clocks in my life, I wouldn't get to be sitting up here. And by the way, you say, well, if you'd watched the clock, you wouldn't be sitting up here explaining why you hadn't been to a playoff game in all those years, too. I understand. I get it.
What?
One of the fun things about this deal is you get to start a new clock every time you line up for the year. And so I really can
Translate,
block
please.
out-
Do you have Google Translate?
Not block out the practical things, because I don't care if it is the new year. If they're about to take your house away, that'll go from last year into this year. So there's reality that goes with it. So
what does he say?
At least I'm sitting here
lost.
because I know how to deal with reality.
Where's the clock?
Okay, and so to answer that question is simply, it never occurred to me there was a clock at all.
Well, the problem
When I was
is
trying
other
to buy the
guys are getting
Cowboys,
hired by
I think
other
I did read
teams.
someplace,
There is a clock.
Tim,
Yeah,
you
but
might
not
have,
if you were never going to hire one of them
remember
anyway.
what I
That's a
read
good point.
someplace Where, that process
And like
and
the
all
clock's
that was
not
going
ticking
was
on the
maybe
other teams
creating,
lining up for Brian Schottenheimer.
Also a
time
good point.
Problems relative to the clock of the NFL or the clock of that. I've really not had the experience of that being the determining factor. I heard this year that
perhaps this is also why they waited.
Enough.
Oh, here we go.
Dak, you're sitting right back there. You want to stand up and tell him you had something to do with that?
No, thank you.
Didn't get Lamb signed quick enough. Okay.
Oh, let me see if I can blame my players for the reason we were not able to do anything in free agency.
And I understand the point, but I think it is fair to say that.
So blame the players, even though you ended up giving them everything that they wanted, which means you could have done it earlier.
Coach Schottenheimer.
Right.
I love the way that you've reflected. You've sort of manifested how you want to get there. We know that Dak's big on that as well. How do you want to be?
I'm tired of all this manifesting bullshit.
When you leave the Dallas
You
Cowboys
can't just
one day?
believe things. You have to do them.
It's about
Number
relationships.
one is a champion, and number two is someone that created one of the greatest cultures professional sports has ever seen.
All right, Ed Werder, WFAA, back here in row 4 next to Kalashaw. Back with the Dak Prescott delegation. Brian, my question
Remember when they used to put me on row 1?
Dak's missed a large portion of 2 of the last 5 seasons with injuries. It's going to be, I think, 32 when the next season starts.
He's a young 32.
What's your vision?
God, we're
how
so
important the quarterback
screwed.
is all of you have in
32.
these kinds of decisions. What's your vision?
You know Mahomes isn't even 30 yet.
I know.
Going forward.
We talked about the other day,
I think
like
you talk about Dak, number one.
the ages of all of them is crazy.
I've had the best seat in the house for the past couple of years in terms of
Yeah, next to him
the first
on the
year,
sideline.
Year one as a consultant, watching. Literally, I remember the first day I was in the building, he came up and introduced himself, said hello, and we were just talking, and people that we mutually respected, and we talked about that. But, you know, being around the last couple
That's not a story.
years, my vision for him is he's one of the best. And through
That's not a vision.
the coaching that he's going to get, through the hours and hours and hours of time that he and I will spend together, he's going to play elite level football, and he's going to lead us to championships. And
because I said
because of the way
I'm
he
manifesting
works,
it.
Yeah.
the way he prepares. This guy prepares different.
You seen the hip
He
thing he does?
He
He's all
prepares different. This guy. I'll be coming down late at night and trying to get something to drink, and I just have to move around because my eyes are bugging out from watching video. And he's still in the building doing his, I guess it's hot cold therapy, whatever that is. I don't do that, but
You might want to know what it is if you're the coach.
He's dicking around
You
back
might
there.
want
I
to
don't
know
know.
a little bit about
Something crazy. All he's describing is that Dak has a kid at home and doesn't want to go home. I get it.
Why would
I got so much to do that I can't be at home for.
Right behind Ed Werder there. Reach up there and squeeze him on his neck and show him what a little problem is with your health. Feels like.
God.
How did that make sense?
We're out of time.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Tad.
Thank Jerry, Brian, for being up here for over an hour.
Big boy.
Oh, over an hour.
We'll continue with some of the other things we're gonna do after this. Thank you.
Got a message coming to you from Papa John's regarding a new 3 pizza special.
All right.
Oh, my God.
There you go.
He
The Cowboy press conference.
He won't make it 1 year.
That's the most fun I've ever had listening to one of those. I'll tell you that. Nice touch on the music there.
Well, Brian Schottenheimer did that.
So
just him talking invokes violin.
Jerry didn't cry, but he got close.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Schotty. A lot of mom talk, though.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of mom talk. And we learned.
Well, you predicted that, and now you're just wanting us to remember that. Yeah.
We're just We're just doing a summary.
Oh.
We're simply doing a wrap up. I didn't predict that the head coach, especially in this era of the NFL, would be like X's and O's. They don't really matter.
You know what? I mean, that'll come. Really, most people know to build a championship team, what you just need is really good relationships, and then the X's and O's follow. Like the football.
We're gonna run it We're gonna pass it.
Yeah, those two things will be
How many
together.
things you want us to do?
Those will be together. You know what's crazy?
And we got to play where. Are you with me? We fake running it.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa! Have you checked with the league office?
They
on
call
that?
it play action. PLAY. AC. Then there's no dash or anything, but
That's
there's
crazy.
a space in between those two words. Yeah.
So sometimes guys get hired, and the media shoots holes through their bravado and their bluster, like Dan Campbell, and you're like, this can't really be real.
Right.
And then other times guys get hired, and they have like crazy specific scheme ideas, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
What if I just showed up with nothing?
What if I lower the bar?
I'm not
I
biting
have not
any
promised
ankles.
anything. I have not promised this team will have a different culture.
No.
I have not promised that this team will be hard to play against.
But they'll all know me, and I'll know them.
They're all going to know that they know that my dad is someone they never heard of, but he was somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God. Oh, really? Well, what was it like then being on the sideline of a Super Bowl when your dad was the well, actually,
he never made it.
he wasn't that. I mean, let's slow down. But he was really like he was great, and he knew Jerry.
Oh man!
Like he was on the competition committee.
So my mom knew him.
My mom's right there. I called her.
It was that deep.
Did you know that I called her after I got the job? And she was like, "Really? Holy shit!"
My fail son.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Let's give a little love to Ownwell.
Oh,
because I believe
well.
the whole tax appeal thing. I think taxes are due on January 31st for homeowner taxes, so you still have some time to check out ownwell.com/thedumbzone.
I don't need to know that because I'm on auto appeal.
So what does that mean?
Once you sign up, they checked it, they saved me a little bit of money, and then here going forward, they will check on it every single year to make sure I'm getting the best deal.
Yeah, our buddy Jimmy Nelson was telling us they do the same thing for him the other day. Like, oh, Ownwell's on it.
How long does it take you to sign up?
Less than 3 minutes.
Online?
Online.
Wow.
If I can do it, you can do it, and it doesn't cost anything to sign up.
Like, think about Ownwell with the Cowboys. What if they were just like, you know what? We'll call you and just give you a really good we'll talk to you about stuff, and we're going to really believe that your taxes will go down. Now, how are you going to do that? We don't really have any way to do it. We're just going to talk about it. Like, they would never do that. They are the X's and O's. They're going to do these things that need to be done for you. They're not going to just talk to you. It's unbelievable, this whole Cowboy thing. Anyway, most people do get a reduction. They an average of $1,148. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
$1,148 is their average savings for people. And other companies will do this, but they will take more of a percentage. Ownwell, you will pay them 25% of whatever they get back. If they get you nothing back, you will pay them 25% of that, which is
something.
It's nothing.
No, it's zero.
It's nothing.
Oh,
You'll pay them nothing.
that's awesome.
The point is,
Kind of set you up for an easy
If they don't
rhetorical
get your
math
money
joke
back.
there, and you
all right, ownwell.com/thedumbzone. Thanks to Ownwell.
Ownwell.
You want to
Well-
do anything before a break, like a little today in Twitter or something, or what are your thoughts? What are you guys thinking about today's show?
Let's do some today in Twitter, but it's going to take more than just a couple minutes. And
We also didn't finish our whole weekend check. I only started to tell you that I
I'll hit you with a little weekend check.
put away my Christmas stuff.
Had big plans to watch all the stuff Dan asked me to watch. I did none of that.
What's on that list?
Springer
doc, good.
Vince McMahon.
I'm only telling you the Springer doc because I feel like that's your wheelhouse.
It's on the list, man.
Like
I wanted to watch it. I really wanted to watch the Tom
You've
Green
built a lot of-
documentary.
I didn't watch that either.
What I did instead was
I watched the finale of Squid Game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I felt about the first one.
Hmm.
I did the weird move of, hey, I've got a lot of time here. What if I were to just hang out with a friend? So against my, best laid plans of going to bed early, my friend Brevig of 5 Minute Stranger Singer fame
Oh, good.
was in town, and he came over, and we just shot the breeze for about 5 hours.
Is he pissed at me?
Did you jam?
We did not jam. The instruments were not there.
Is he mad that I gave your album? Because
it didn't come up, which makes me think he probably just didn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
Because he did text us about it.
My daughters reviewed the album, and we're not kind to Brevig. But it was also 17-year-old Brevig.
Yes.
I'm sure they'd be great to him now.
Yeah. Well,
they're awesome.
Talked, hung out, caught up, visited, and then watched SNL.
Yeah, I had an issue with something you said about gathering with friends. Like you said, I think it was gay to go to eat with your buddies.
Yeah.
I did that Thursday night, and I felt great. Good to see them.
Did you guys get a little
didn't have to drink.
Share a little appetizer.
Shared some chips and queso. There's nothing wrong with it. I enjoyed hanging with my friends. But I kept thinking about you like, this doesn't feel wrong. This feels great.
I'd rather turn it into a night out. Like, really just go after it.
What about lunch with a friend? Because I will do that. I have a lunch scheduled for Thursday.
I've done it a couple times in the last few months, and I don't hate it.
Like it's just a friend lunch, not a business lunch.
Yeah. I'd rather eat alone. And that's the thing is I honestly thought about the weekend check-in, like, am I going to lie and say that I was busy when Brevig asked me to hang out? What am I going to do here? And I just decided, let's hang out. And before that, I went to the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, or as it's known over there, the fair for white people.
Really? I've never heard that, but
it's the exact same bit. Like, it's the same rides. It's the same, they have animals just like they have at the fair.
Do you take your kids or you just go by yourself?
No, the petting zoo really is, it gets me going. No, we took the kids and they loved it. It's a good time. We have Kristen's family. Her grandfather was, for lack of a better term, kind of a carny. He would travel to various stock shows and carnivals with exotic animals that you could take photos with.
Oh, okay. He wasn't like 2 foot tall.
No, but he was involved in the game.
All right.
No, he did not have, his wife was not the bearded lady.
Yeah.
Her son wasn't Goat Boy. But he traveled the circuit, and now they still have that business, and it prints money, dude. They got miniature horses and baby goats, and people will stand in line for half an hour to get that photo, and we get the fast pass. All the other kids.
They have a fast pass at the.
No, they have her family runs the booth, and
okay.
Every year we get the stares and the glares from the people who have been waiting as they just up and up the rope, and our kids walk right in.
See, that's where when I would go to the fair, I would always make my kid ride in a wheelchair.
Yes.
And then you could just, you can get in anywhere with that.
Mm-hmm.
Then she hops off and runs to the front car. It's great.
It's a fine time, though. I mean, you know what you're getting into.
Honey, we got to shave your head again.
It's right?
Fair time. We have to.
Look, I think I would say this regardless of the political party, but I honestly also think it could only happen right now for one, and really probably only for Trump, but like a kid in front of us who was taking a photo, like a 7-year-old girl who just has a Trump sweater on. Just seems weird to me. Not as weird. Sunday morning at the rec, I saw like a kid who was probably in 5th grade in a Jalen Hurts jersey, and that bothered me a lot more.
So you liked it better when your political T-shirts would have a Hitler mustache on the president, not just
something
promoting
classy
the
like
president.
that. Yeah. But also like just putting.
I never remember anybody being so stoked on Clinton that they would have a Clinton T-shirt.
People had Obama shirts,
They did?
like the image of like a art image of him kind of looking up.
Okay.
But even then, that's weird. I just think, and a child is just strange. Putting a political shirt on a child, I don't know. It's just weird. But it was a good time. It was a good time. And then yesterday, TC and his family came over to watch football.
All right.
Let the girls play. It's a good friend weekend.
It's a great football day yesterday, man.
Really was.
Nice and cold out.
Oh, we had the fire.
Had a fire.
Yeah.
So I went to my nephew's soccer game, which is played at a massive indoor complex in Wiley, or I guess technically Murphy.
That's great.
Indoor?
Oh, yeah. No, I've been to enough outdoor soccer games. But yeah, it's super cool. You walk in, there's basketball courts over here, indoor soccer, volleyball, it's massive. And so I'm not the biggest soccer fan. So when my nephew wasn't in the game, I would
Trust me, we know that Establish the Run guy is not the biggest soccer fan. I don't think anybody's shocked by that.
I mean, they'll just fall down and fake an injury. Can you believe it? Soft. Anyway, so I'd spin around and I'd watch some of the basketball games behind me. And the game behind me, we had an all-black team and an all-Asian team.
Ooh, okay.
And I was interested.
All right.
So the game tips off, and the Asians just start to get demolished.
Just physically overrun a little bit.
A little bit. They couldn't get any rebounds. They were small. I guess they were playing 5 guards. I don't know what they were doing. But in youth basketball, you cannot pressure in the backcourt.
Correct.
So the other team is just waiting for you to cross half court, and then they'll just double team you and steal the ball. And I was getting so mad at the Asian team coach, who was like Asian, of course.
Well,
Like-
I don't know. They had that German guy coaching the U.S. soccer
It's a
team.
dad.
Okay.
It's always a dad. I'm like, you have the smart kids. We can beat this 1-2 trap.
Well, that is the most racist thing you've ever
That's
said.
beyond
Draw up
our
a
level of
play.
stereotypical
Yeah.
racism.
Pass it to this kid. Stop dribbling.
That's clearly a racist thing because the coach should be the smart guy then,
Yes,
right?
he should. But he kept trying to set a pick at the top. I'm like, brother, just pass the ball.
But you're
These kids will understand what you're saying. Trust me.
God.
I don't know. I was getting really mad.
so you're not even paying attention to your nephew or whatever.
I don't care. I think he scored. I don't know. I'm sure he had fun. But yeah, I was just, and it made me realize I'm going to be the parent. Like, I'm not going to yell at my kid or get mad if he wins or loses. But if the coach is just not calling the right plays.
Are you going to coach?
That kind of made me think about it.
Okay, because
That's how it starts.
I've always been a coach.
I think it would be fun.
I really hated when my daughter went on to like high school and now you can't coach and I have to be in the stands and I have no say in anything.
Yeah, but I thought I could be that guy. Like, I'm just not care. I'm not going to care. I don't need to get animated.
And you're getting animated about a team that you don't have a kid or a.
I know. This
Yeah.
was an eye-opening weekend for me.
You got to resist that urge. I heard
What, to
Ethan
coach?
Strauss talking about that on his podcast, like watching a basketball coach for his kid kind of give his kid instruction that he's not sure is right. And it's like, what do you do about that? Because once you open that Pandora's box, first of all, you're that dad, right? You've broken the seal on being that dad. Does that affect your kid somehow? Is the coach like, I'm tired of this kid?
Also hit the cages again for softball.
Preparing for your softball season.
Yeah. And you want to talk about the blind leading the blind? It's a dad trying to teach his son how to hit.
Did you try or you were watching?
I was watching.
Yeah.
Did you have problems with what he was doing?
It's just bad instruction. I don't know. Load earlier or whatever. Just okay.
When I went to the cages before our last, I guess the Jack White game or whatever game we played in, I was having a tough time listening to. It was actually a dad and a daughter, and she was swinging on the fast pitch softball cage, and they were there before I got there. I was there a long time, and they were there after I left, and he was just hammering her. That doesn't seem fun. Doesn't seem fun at all.
So yesterday I went to my parents' house. My dad was watching Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
I know you've done this bit before, but it seemed like every time I passed through, like I just heard this.
Remember to take these in autumn.
Just this guitar riff of.
It's the best. It's the best.
Or this.
The
saxophone, the jazz.
I'm telling you, man.
It's incredible.
So
80s and early 90s action movies had a view of cinema that we have lost. That was peak.
Walked in, I just saw.
Always some bare naked breasts.
Yeah.
I was
just a
gonna say,
couple.
I walked
Gratuitous tatas.
Walked in, saw a boob, and just walked back out.
Didn't mean anything though. It didn't have anything to do with the
Advance the
story, but yeah. But we had to throw that in there just to make sure we know.
Yeah.
That we will do this.
And that's how the movie starts.
Oh yeah.
With boobs.
Yeah. Some coke.
Right, and then you never see him again.
And she's about to die.
Yeah.
Tone setter.
Good movie though.
Great movie.
Hey,
yeah.
Before we go to break, let's just promote our remote.
Okay. The one this week is at Rivian Dallas.
Like they're making us This is such a big deal that we are doing a show on Wednesday instead of Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I have that lunch on Thursday.
I put that together.
I'd like to book that up. So it's their grand opening, 3010 Knox Street. Let's see. It says here, this will allow visitors, that is you, the person watching or listening to us now, to explore Rivian's all-electric vehicles, including trucks and SUVs. So they're not going to be like, you can't drive the electric SUV. They're going to let you drive that one and the other cars.
Explore them.
After I'm done with it.
Yeah.
These are sick, man.
You can get Blake sloppy seconds.
Okay.
We'll find out that 0 to 60 time.
Sit in the vehicles, take them for a ride. Rivian.
They're very nice. Come check them out. See them in person.
It's all the rage.
Watch a fun show. Yeah, I'll say it. that it's
Will it
gonna
be fun?
I'll say it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know how I'm going to do a show on Wednesday. I'm used to not doing a show.
I know.
Oh, wait. I guess that means Business Wednesday is Business Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw everything off.
Okay, what's next?
Oh, you want to take a break?
Sure.
Okay, we'll do that.
The Dumb Zone.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
All right.
Schotty.
Schotty.
Schotty. We are the Two Live Zoots. I just can't wait for what Micah has to say about this. He's going to have to try to feign excitement, but he's very bad at lying. Very bad. We've already heard from one former Cowboy. Michael Irvin decided he would do his own YouTube video, which we'll play that tomorrow. It's insane. Dez is mad.
Is Dez talking?
Yeah, he was fighting with Kayvon Thibodeau of the New York Giants in a "you didn't do much in your time" off.
Should we do today in Twitter?
Sure.
Is
Yeah.
that Dez?
It's not.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
saying sure because I thought it was a nice opportunity to move things along.
I'm sure Dez, though, is on Twitter. That's where you know he's mad.
Yeah, he is. And like I said, he got into a big... Basically, anybody who criticizes Dez now, he's like, you don't get it like I do. I'm doing it for the players.
You'll know someday.
You'll get it.
Maybe.
You'll get it one day. No, Today in Twitter has a bit of an entertainment bent today. Once upon a time, Dan used to try to watch all of the Oscar-nominated movies. I don't think he still keeps that tradition up.
Trey might be getting us those movies, so I might...
Do you just like to go ahead and...
pretend that I'm going to.
Out one of your friends for a pretty serious federal crime right
It's
here?
not a federal crime at all. It's those movies are all readily available. Probably.
Okay. The key is not to do it on a company server.
He also takes all the mattress tags off of, yeah.
It's called Interpol.
Yeah.
But this first one, like I said, is a little bit of an entertainment bent to me today. This was sent to me by Blake. I don't know any of the Oscar movies at all. So when I saw this clip that Blake sent me and it said, we have to play this. It's a clip from a guy who does movie reviews for Barstool, and he said, this just got 13 Oscar nominations, and it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's called Emilia, Perez. Have you heard of it?
Is it with a really short black lady? Is she the star?
I don't know her. I don't know if she's really short or not.
Okay.
But
I can't remember where I saw a really short black lady promoting.
It appears to be.
It looked bad.
I don't know if it's better for us
She was
to watch
green.
the clip. No.
She was
I don't know
green
if
in
it's
the
better for us to watch the clip or explain it to you first.
All
I
right.
think I'm going to go with explain it.
Yeah.
It's a movie, apparently, that is a cartel thriller mystery comedy musical.
Yeah, this says musical crime comedy film.
Okay.
Where a cartel
You're trying
leader,
to set yourself apart.
a cartel leader, a Mexican drug cartel, needs to get rid of his former life. He's on the run. Maybe he talked to the feds, I think. And to do so, they went ahead and hit the topical button of becoming transgender. So we have a cartel leader who needs a sex change operation, and when he does this, it opens up a whole world of problems they did not imagine. It's also a musical. Let's play the clip.
Hello, very nice to meet you.
We're in a doctor's office.
Sex change operation.
I see. Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina. Is it for you?
For me?
What would you like to know about it, madam?
I want to know it all. What is the protocol, the techniques and the risks? How many operations? How much time do you need?
Mammoplasty.
Yes.
Vaginoplasty.
Yes.
Rhinoplasty.
Yes.
Laryngoplasty.
Yes.
Mammoplasty.
Yes.
Vaginoplasty.
Yes.
Rhinoplasty.
Yes.
Laryngoplasty.
Yes.
Control laryngoplasty.
What is that?
Adam's apple reduction.
Yes. To woman.
From penis to vagina.
That's the part right there where it just sounds like if me and my buddies in high school were talking about this. From penis to vagina.
Yes.
Yes.
To woman.
What the hell did I just watch?
What you just watched was a movie that's been nominated for over a dozen Academy Awards.
Dude, show that to your grandpa.
Okay, I will.
Do it.
And I'll roll on it.
Show him that clip. Yeah, this week's lunch. Run the Ball guy doesn't like that movie.
Oh.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
What the heck? What are we doing?
Okay, so 13 Oscar nominations for Emilia Perez.
Songwriting isn't one of them, correct? Let's rhyme something.
Yes.
Do we have to rhyme something?
Penis to vagina.
Or like make the song catchy?
Oh, what's catchy?
Well, yeah, I guess those words are gonna.
Yes.
So tune into the Academy Awards whenever that's going on.
So that's a movie.
It's in, and it's got like, dude, it seriously has. Let me look at it. The audience score wise, 28%.
Ouch.
That would be the lowest critic score movie to, I believe, ever receive a Best Picture nomination, like by a lot.
Okay, I kind of think I need to watch the movie now.
I thought the exact same thing.
What's it called?
Emilia Perez.
From penis to vagina.
That's actually what it's called.
It's called From Penis to Vagina.
Nah.
It's like From Here to Eternity.
Right.
From penis to vagina.
So our second clip here is also from the world of entertainment. And you know how there are times when like somebody gets a really important role in a movie and they kind of become it.
Like
you might say
method acting?
You might say this method acting or just culturally, like you might say this about the guy Gary Sinise and Lieutenant Dan. Because he's a musician and he did like the Lieutenant Dan All-Star Band for charity for Wounded Warriors.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any others, but you know what I'm talking about.
Got his legs cut off just for the movie.
He did, and then had to just lean into the bit. But it happens from time to time, right? Like the guy who played Shooter McGavin.
Yeah, that's
was just Shooter McGavin for the rest of
That's
his
a really
life.
good one.
He seems to be really into it, too.
Yes. So in this case, we're going to go to one Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid has been off his rocker for some time now. You've probably seen videos of him on Twitter or on social media where he's rambling about the government and about 5G. And it really seems like he became his character from Independence Day. Russell Case. Russell Case in Independence Day was like he was a veteran who was living in an RV and he was anti-government and he was off his rocker. But at the end of the day, they needed him to save the world by sacrificing himself for humanity. But he was crazy.
Do me a favor. Tell my children I love them very much.
That's him, right?
This is
All right,
speaking of Marty Schottenheimer. I might cry.
The words of my generation.
Dad, what's he doing?
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on.
All right, is that enough?
Well, unless you want to get to I'm back.
Good luck, buddy.
Hello, boys. I'm
And he saves the world.
Oh.
Saves the world.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I think that character might have stuck with Quaid a little bit. And the clip I'm about to play for you went super viral on social media, which makes me think I'm pretty sure we can play it because it's very vulgar. And if this gets kicked off YouTube, then
that's the thing. It won't hang on YouTube.
Wait, where's it from?
I'll tell you when to stop it. He posted it on Twitter.
Then it's fine.
Yeah, it's just
because it's for monetization, which we're not doing today.
All right.
Well, we're gonna give this a go. This is so he's super anti-government.
Businesses.
He's
not monetized.
He's yelling about the government. He's yelling about media and entertainment. This is like a 2-minute clip, but I need you to strap in for this one.
Hi, I'm Randy Quaid.
Can we
and
pause?
This is my wife Evie. I help.
So Randy Quaid is sitting
why
in.
is she in a lingerie?
That's going to become apparent in a minute. So Randy Quaid is sitting at a computer filming this video. He's got his Randy Quaid beard.
Huge white beard. Yeah.
Huge white beard. He is wearing a blazer with a shirt underneath it. We will talk about that shirt in just a minute. Behind him, as he's about to explain to you, is his wife sitting on a bed in lingerie or in like some state of undress. She wearing sunglasses. He wearing his normal crazy conspiracy spectacles.
And it's in very standard def.
The lighting is poor. They look like they're in a shitty hostel, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Media giants News Corp and Warner Brothers Entertainment earned well over $1 billion for the film's Independence Day and Christmas Vacation. What did I get in return? A Warner Brothers exec, Bruce Berman, stole my house. And News Corp's The New York Post continues to smear me to high heaven with a pack of lies. For good measure, Warner Brothers even had my wife and I falsely arrested 6 times by TMZ. No, for real. That's really how it works. Hashtag PMC. Police media corruption.
Don't know it. Law and Order, maybe.
Evie and I have been put through a living hell of biblical proportion. So how do we retaliate? What do we do? Well, I still have a few tricks too. This is the very same shirt that I wore in ID 4 when I saved the world. Another act that Rupert Murdoch still hasn't thanked me for. So, Rupert, you want to fuck me?
He's very upset at Rupert Murdoch.
I'm going to fuck you.
He's going to hold up a picture of
Evie,
Rupert Murdoch.
Put this on.
With eye holes cut for his wife. Now she puts that face on, and she is wearing Rupert Murdoch's face.
Oh, no.
And she is bent over, and he is
Maybe
now
you'll
behind
thank me
her.
for this.
He spits in his hand.
No.
And he is now going to at least pantomime having sex with his wife.
Oh, yeah.
What are we watching?
That's familiar. Dog will bark, right?
Yeah.
Together, Rupert. Yeah, together, Rupert.
He's going to angle the camera up a little bit so you can see his face.
We'll wipe out police media corruption. Yeah, Rupert. Yeah. I'm back.
Whoa. That was not what I was expecting.
So,
yeah,
hammering his wife from behind as she wears a Rupert Murdoch mask.
Yeah. He's got a few tricks up his sleeve too. And if you think you're gonna F him, Rupert, he's gonna F you.
Okay.
So there is today in Twitter.
Was today in Twitter.
Whoa.
Yeah, a couple listeners sent that to me, and they were like,
why can't we monetize that?
a couple listeners sent that to me, and were like, all you got to do is hope that Dan hasn't seen this by tomorrow.
Hey.
Yeah.
NFL talk. When we have a game-watching party, actually, we didn't have a game-watching party for the championship, but we will for the Super Bowl. And it would not be complete without Tito's handmade vodka. Tito's, America's favorite vodka for a reason. It is a spirit that knows how to focus on what's important. That's why Tito's comes in a standard bottle with a modest paper label, so all you pay for is the high-quality vodka inside. Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. Naturally gluten-free and mixes with just about anything from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. We are fired up to be associated with a brand like Tito's because not only is it known for great vodka, but for giving back by teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. It is the vodka for dog people, after all. Find your new favorite cocktail with Tito's by visiting titosvodka.com. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, distilled from corn. Copyright 2025, crafted to be savored responsibly. All right. The first conference championship was Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. on Fox. Before the game was lamenting the fact that I thought it would have been cooler to have Romo doing the game where against the team with the teams he played against most often and all that kind of thing. And same thing for Brady, to be able to breaking down the Bills and kind of his little rivalry and the GOAT conversation of Mahomes.
Yeah.
But we didn't get that. We got the opposite, unfortunately. And I guess that'll continue as long as CBS owns the AFC.
Yeah,
right?
even with like the mixing up of the networks and the picking games and the packages, when it comes down to the big ones, you're still going to get it AFC, NFC. Fox,
yeah, I thought that just would have fit better to be able to have those guys talk about those teams. But the Washington run is over, Rob. Sorry about that. It was the case of, look, no matter what happened, they just getting to the playoffs was a big enough deal for them. Of course, defeating Detroit, huge. But it was just too much. The whole Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is underrated, dude. I said it Friday.
Yeah, and that's crazy because you're right. But, I mean, they have the number 1 defense in the league, and they have Saquon Barkley.
And Saquon is such a big play threat. In fact, his first carry, correct?
Yeah, I was thinking when TC got to my house, I told him he had missed the first 2 drives, and I'm like, this is pretty much how the national championship started, where Notre Dame scored a touchdown, and Washington ended up kicking a field goal, but massive drive, just conversion at 3rd down and long, 4th downs.
See, I don't know that that's the game Washington wanted to be in.
Well, that's the
I almost
thing.
think they wanted a shootout.
They did, yeah. So they get this grinded out, like we made 2 4th downs, we made some long 3rd downs. Finally, we decide to kick a field goal instead of going for it on a 3rd, 4th down.
What did you think of that?
Dude, I hate to kick it, but
Kind of think, let's not have a 17-play drive and come away with no points?
You're on the road. I mean, I know you should be shooting from the hip because you're the dog, but felt like you had to get something on the board. And you'd already made 2 of them, so maybe you're thinking, let's not get greedy. In my gut, it bothers me to kick there, but I understand it.
Yeah.
But my point is just that Washington ate up half the first quarter, and they're like, hey, look, we can do this. And then just like Ohio State, Philadelphia scored immediately.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we probably can't do too many 18-play, 8-minute drives.
Was it Brady who was saying, somebody said something like, it's weird to have a big play offense that is run-oriented.
I don't remember if it was him or not, but that is
Did you hear that?
The chunk play from runs is
they are a
cool
big play
magic
offense. Yeah, and it makes you think about old Zeke.
Yeah.
It is, and if you have one of those guys, it's a big deal. It's a huge weapon. Just even the occasional 15, 20-yarder. That's a big deal, a way bigger deal.
Yeah.
And Saquon is unbelievable.
He really is.
Like, because he's also not physically imposing like Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He's more Emmett.
He reminds me, I was going to say, he reminds me of Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
And he's also not, he doesn't seem like he's the fastest guy in the world.
But he'll just burst through there
runs
and all of a sudden
at his own
he's there.
speed, and then he's there. And I'm probably saying this because I would have preferred Washington to win, and I did bet on them. But I felt like they were in that game other than the turnovers. Now, I know that's a Micah thing to say, like, oh, except for the bad plays, we were pretty good today. But they were not better, so they did not deserve to win. But a few fumbles and turnovers here and there just buried them.
I thought nice, it is sad seeing Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore. But I also thought Kellen Moore dials up. It's 4th and 5 at the Washington 45 with 2 minutes left in the first half. And they dial up throwing it deep. Completed it to A.J. Brown.
That's ballsy.
I think the fact that they can do so many different things, that Hurts can do it with his legs. The Hurts, is he injured, is he not, question throughout the week is probably what caused a lot of people to go ahead and bet on Washington.
Sure. He didn't look great against the Rams.
No, but
he was on point yesterday.
That was also, the weather was
true,
incredible there. But yeah, you can't say I'd rather have Dak than Jalen Hurts, right?
No, but I do think there was a time not that long ago where Dak was as good as this version of Jalen Hurts. But it's never coming back, and it ain't right now.
Yeah, and even I saw somebody saying it was kind of people are talking about Jaden Daniels as the best rookie quarterback ever. And somebody online jumped up and said, oh, yeah? Well, how about let's take a look at this rookie quarterback, put his numbers up against it, and it was Dak. And they all look very similar. The yardage, the passing statistics, the record, if you care about that as a quarterback. But one that was huge, I think Daniels had like 800 yards rushing. And Dak, even as a rookie, it was like 200 yards. And do you understand what that means? If you have a guy that is basically an extra running back on the field at all times, that's huge.
Yeah, and you could say that about, I think somebody pointed out yesterday that Josh Allen's the best third down back in the league. And then you obviously get what you get out of Hurts. So it's not even just Jaden Daniels who's like a dynamo. It's that other teams have a way to get offense out of their quarterback's legs.
And then Mahomes doesn't do it all the time. But when he needs, he ran 10 times yesterday.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And you know that's going to happen. He does it every year in the playoffs now.
At this point, it's a thing.
I like Brady. I like Brady announcing. And the reason that I like Brady, and this is the reason he can't do Browns, Jags or something. He can't be on that beat. He has to be on these big games. And I'm very proud of him he will criticize. He will be quick to criticize Hurts. He was talking about him holding the ball too long, showing on a replay. He's like, that's where you let it go. That's where you let it go, because right there is when such and such is breaking free, and it's awesome having him do it. Romo can't do that, because you would say to Romo, oh, really, that's what you would have done? That's what, that is what Brady would have done.
Which is ridiculous because Romo,
was very good.
Played quarterback better than all but 30 people watching the game at home. But with Brady, it's like the final nail in the coffin of what are you going to say?
Aikman could do that too, but he hasn't played in a long enough time. Plus, I don't know.
It's a different personality too.
Different personality, different guy. But Brady also can do a lot of these things because his career, in the beginning, he was kind of game manager guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just like, okay, is he that good? Is he Kyle Brady? He's fine, but he's not Bledsoe. He's not putting up 4,000 yards, but then he turned into air it out 5,000 yards, 50 touchdown guy. he's done everything.
Dude, it's even to a point where when he talks about like an injury-prone player, he can be like, "You doesn't have to always be that way." You know what I mean? Normal commentators are like, that's just a tough break for you. Whereas Brady's like, how much avocado you can not get hurt.
Right, you can pay a lot more attention to your
So he's just unassailable
what you put
on
in
every
your body.
front.
He gets upset when the play is correct, but the execution isn't there. Like he'll be doing a replay and like, gotta make those plays. Like he gets frustrated, like seeing it all. Like you could see him in the film room, perhaps.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you don't make that cut, you're not gonna, or mad at the quarterback for not making a throw or whatever.
He's on a different level.
I really like it. Who's doing Super Bowl this year? Let me look here.
I think them.
Yeah, Fox, right?
Is it Brady?
I think so.
Okay, good. Let's see. What else in that game did I care about? Oh, this will lead us into some audio. This is going, now we're going tush push, and we get it, brotherly shove. KB wants to bro down and say brotherly shove as much as he can. It is kind of too bad we're not doing Romo in the Super Bowl, just because of just so much. We could just mark everything and play the whole thing, and we have a lot of audio to play. But how about this play where Washington kept going offside at the 1 yard line? Were you still watching?
Oh, yeah.
At that point?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because it wasn't the fourth quarter?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was the start of the fourth quarter, and Frankie Louvu had 2, and Jonathan Allen had 1. They had 3 straight encroachment penalties.
Yeah, so the one dude kept diving over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And after a couple of those, the ref, Ed Hercules' son, if you want to talk about, you knew his dad, and that's why he got the job, Sean Hockley, comes out and he's like, hey, if they keep doing this, we're talking unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So then they did it again, but they didn't dive over.
It was a legitimate offsides.
But it was still like, hey, we just told you guys not to go offsides. Like, they kept going offsides. It was at the 1 yard line, they went offsides. At the half, they go offsides. And then I think even KB talks about it here. But this is where Mike Pereira jumps in. And I thought this was awesome. And I had never heard this before in my life. I don't know about you. Here we go.
Mike, how close can they put this ball to the goal line at this point?
Well, interestingly enough, you got a situation here. If these are deliberate, and you heard Sean Hockley say that it could lead to an unsportsmanlike conduct call, it could also lead to awarding a score if it happens multiple times like this. So we'll hear what Sean has to say.
Encroachment, defense number 93. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again. For now, it's a replay of second down.
Imagine the fans being a fan in there.
Well, it is to keep this happening. Deliberate acts like that to prevent a score after a warning, even though it's 2 separate people here, can lead to what is called a palpably unfair act. That's how it's defined in the book. And you can do as a referee whatever you'd actually like to do.
Is that the first time Pereira's ever offered anything?
I like Pereira. You don't like Pereira?
No, I don't like any of these rules guys.
Well, I want to compare him.
Generally, I'm with Blake. I think Pereira's the best of the bunch, the tallest little person. But that right there, that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
To tell the audience something they don't know. And really, I do want to do the comparison with CBS, but when you're watching that, you're like, well, they have to jump off sides or let them score. You cannot you have to try to time that play out. That's the only way to stop it. So it's either let them score, which you probably just should have done, or you risk this palpable unfairness thing, which I found out actually was implemented in 2020.
Really? In
2020 or 2016? 2016. 49ers, let's see here. The Saints are up 8 on the 49ers right before half, and they didn't want to give up a touchdown. So they just kept holding the Saints receivers in the end zone with under 10 seconds left on the clock. New Orleans was awarded 5 yards, but with only a few ticks remaining, they had to settle for a field goal. The league quickly acted, sending a notice to officials a couple weeks later, which resulted in the palpably unfair act. Normally a 15-yard penalty and restoration of the lost time on the clock. In this case, though, it would have been a touchdown. That part has
Okay, so that's what led to this.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I thought that was awesome yesterday. I thought it was really awesome that Pereira pointed it out before the referee said it. But so my thing is that I think I want those guys to be there to give their opinion one way or another. And my charge is that Gene Steratore on CBS never gives an opinion until after, and then he will be like, "Oh yeah, they like he will." I think I brought you evidence on this before, where they will show him a play and he'll be like, "I don't know, it could be one thing." Or anyway, so that happened yesterday when in the Bills game, where the defensive back and the wide receiver both kind of caught the ball at the same time, and so it's kind of like, well, who do you rule? Like, there was a challenge on that. And here's that.
Yeah, he threw the challenge flag. But I don't.
Buffalo is challenging the prior play with respect to the possession of the ball by the defense prior to being down. We'll replay that now.
And Gene, you've taken a look at it already. I mean, is there anything that's a winnable case there for the Bills?
You know, I think we're going to take a look. The ball's all over the place there, and it may have hit the ground, but I think we're going to take a real good look at it as we go to break, Jim.
Oh, okay.
The point was he'd been sitting there watching the replay already. You're the replay
What do you
guy.
think? Well, it's close.
The only thing you should do is sit and watch that replay.
It's close.
Because that's your job.
And he's leaning towards saying incomplete. Because he's like, ball might touch the ground there. But
yeah.
Do you have the next piece?
Well, no. Then they went to break, and they come out of break, and they gave the ref, and he never even talked again.
I thought he did. But to your point, the refs say, the catch was upheld, and then he comes in and says, yeah, look, the ball does hit the ground, but, it doesn't move, and his hands were under it. So you're right. I think he just panders to what the call is on the field.
The point is that he didn't do, yes, he will, after the ref says something, he will say something.
Is that the worst challenge you've ever seen in your life?
It's pretty bad.
It wasn't a good one.
There's a defensive holding.
Yeah, but it saves you 16 yards, I think.
Okay. So Patrick Mahomes, I'll just back you up 16 yards and give you a first down inside my territory. Is that worth a timeout and a challenge? If there was no holding, then maybe it's worth it because that ball was moving. So the result, look, Mahomes has the ball at the, 18?
Yeah, something like that.
Dude, Mahomes is so good. You said it last week. Like, he's always the MVP.
Yeah.
He's the MVP. Like, what is within you as when if they're trailing or something and they've got to drive to, like, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Even that drive that got him the touchdown. Was it to go ahead, 8 minutes left? I don't know. He's just unbelievable, dude. He's so cool. They've won, what? Is it 17 games in a row now? One-score games?
Yeah, 17 one-score. Obviously, everyone this year. This
11-0 this year, yeah.
This tweet from a guy from the AP was what I was trying to pull up. Patrick Mahomes has trailed in fourth quarter of 9 playoff games. He has come back to win 6 and forced OT in 2 others before losing. He has a 132.2 rating with 5 touchdown passes and 1 run touchdown when down 1 to 8 points in the fourth quarter or OT or playoff game. Leading scores on 13 of 14 drives. So when he's trailed in the fourth quarter or in overtime, he has scored in the playoffs 13 of 14 times. Essentially, if he loses, it's because the other team had the ball last.
Yeah.
And they, ended up being perfect.
Every year he's been a starter, which started in year 2. He's gone to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he lost to Brady in the championship game, lost to Brady in the Super Bowl, and lost to Burrow once. That's it.
Which is why I think from a historical standpoint and the legacy perspective, I do think the three-peat thing is a huge deal. It's the only thing he can get over Brady. He'll never get to play him again. He's not going to get to 7 Super Bowls. Well, who knows? I guess he could.
He might get to 7 Super Bowls.
You just got to.
I mean, they keep rebuilding the team around him.
Yeah, and look, Xavier Worthy was great yesterday. Everybody thought when Rashee Rice went down earlier in the year, like, oh, they have no other options. But Xavier Worthy was good. And Keon Coleman for the Bills had a better year, but people forget. The Bills traded up to take Keon Coleman, and they traded with the Chiefs, who then took Xavier Worthy, which is not the only time these two teams have traded in the first round. Going back to when the Chiefs traded up to take Patrick Mahomes.
That was a trade with the Bills?
And the Bills did not because they were set with Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, wow.
That's a tough one.
Boy,
I know. It's all connected.
What an incredible rivalry then.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like
the Bills keep beating them in the regular season.
Yeah, and I don't,
and every playoff game just gets swatted aside.
I do feel bad for Josh Allen and the Bills, but they did not play their best game. So we can talk about the ball spotting, but that just kind of feeds into the whole Chiefs thing. And Adam Schefter carried his water Sunday morning with a report on how the league's going to get to the bottom of this.
That was fun to watch on Twitter. So Adam Schefter put out that tweet. You're right, carrying the water for the NFL.
Yeah.
But then a lot of people started putting out, okay, well, here, let me give you a video of the last 7 roughing calls on Patrick Mahomes. And he was getting just hammered.
Yeah, every one of them the league said was legit.
So, he actually has been called for more roughing. But, yes, they were all very legit.
And I saw Mitchell Schwartz, former Chief, bring up the point that I think you made the other day, which is like, yeah, they have less penalties. That used to be called good coaching.
Yeah. What does run the ball guy think about spotting?
In terms of like whether there should be a chip in the ball?
Yeah. Are you chipping the ball guy too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems outdated that we just kind of peer over there and look down. Yeah, first down. Yeah, it seems weird. But after talking to Aubrey, I mean, it might throw off the physics of the ball.
Well, they have a different K ball.
Yeah, that's the thing. They should use a different ball for that. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a chip in the ball. How it all works, I don't know. But I know that when you run sneaks and tush push, you run the risk of the spot not being right. That is an inherent risk in that play because the ball is covered up by bodies and arms and jerseys, and there's no way to tell if the tip actually got to the yard line. That was a bad call, but that's part of it.
It's so funny watching the Eagles do that and then watching every other team try it.
Isn't that weird?
It's just night and day. Because when the Eagles do it, you think this should not be in the game. It's too easy.
Yeah.
And then the Bills try to do it with a bigger quarterback, and they can't do it.
Yeah.
And he top dove, which should have been a fumble. You won't see Hurts do that much. Like try to extend over the top of it. Bad idea.
And they were wondering, with Kelsey retiring, would it be the same? With Hurts injured, perhaps, would it be the same? Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is Philly has more off of it. They have more counters off of it. And it didn't appear that Buffalo did. They just kind of ran it to the same. I mean, Romo was calling it out. Like they're going left A gap here.
Yeah, the Chiefs scouted it.
Yeah.
Who knew it was coming?
And the first possession of the game, Allen threw 2 passes to Kansas City. They were getting a little bit of their own luck on fumbles and dropped interceptions too. So I don't think they got just jobbed. I think they got outplayed. You got to be perfect to beat Kansas City if they're playing well.
Yeah, and I was a huge fan of the Bills because I needed it for my futures bet that I placed.
I was thinking about you.
And Eagles got it pretty easy, but then just needing the Bills to beat the Chiefs and needing to have Mahomes fail, it just felt like it was impossible. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like rooting against Mahomes. He's too good. And you're right. Yeah, you got to play perfect to beat them. And the refs.
And the refs. Did you see that picture flying around of the ref in Kansas City? I'll send it to you if you don't have it yet. Okay. We could use it on today's
okay, yeah,
show if you want.
Hey, by the way, I meant to mention this on Friday. I was like, man, if they lose, I'm not going to get to bring that up. I'm sure that Woke Us did not treat this story fairly when it happened, and I think everybody's just trying to learn and move forward. But, Ethan Strauss has been all over this point. You think we're going to get a big feature Super Bowl Sunday about the punt god?
No way.
Well, you should.
Just because he was unfairly
Yeah, I mean, the same media that's going to be covering that game were the ones who made us all think he definitely did this. He was there. Here's what the recording says. I've talked to the DA. He gets run from the league.
Yeah, I don't think it is, in a way, it's a feel-good story. But just anytime you have the term gang rape, it's not going to be on the pregame show of the Super Bowl.
Well, I think they're telling personal interest stories, and here's a guy who nearly had his life ruined through no fault of his own. And the same media that's going to tell the stories about how this guy's
He's like, I didn't even do regular
cancer.
rape.
Yeah. I do get thrown off whenever somebody talks about that. They're like, it's a brutal gang rape. I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's
Not
a whole
tender,
lot of
loving,
yeah,
a candlelit gang rape. Is there ever a candlelit gang rape?
Nah, I don't feel like it.
Do you want to do audio today? You want to do the rest of your Romo audio?
We have so much. Yeah, go for it. Why not?
Okay. This was just Romo with a funny voice.
Okay, yeah.
You wanted to bring up?
Yeah. I think Romo, like my dad, routinely just messes up cultural references by about a word or two.
They're doing a replay of a stiff arm.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the Buffalo running back had a stiff arm.
Well, you wanted to see more running of the football, and they come out with a good 5-yard run, and then this one goes for 33 with Cook.
Yeah, and you thought he could have went inside, but look at the stiff arm. Get out of here. And then he keeps going, and I'm telling you, he is a special player. He's got to get more touches than the 4 he had in the first half. That was half of what he had in the first half right here in the first 2 plays.
Yeah, the running backs only had 8 attempts in that first half. By the way, a nice block down the field by Hollins.
So what he's doing there is Mortal Kombat, but instead of what Scorpion actually says in that voice, which is, get over here. And if you grew up in the Mortal Kombat era, you know that. Romo does, get off of here, or something. It's almost. If you played it, just that part again.
Get out of here. And then
no, it's not get out of here. It's get over here. Blake
get
knows.
out of here.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I was a big Scorpion and Sub-Zero guy.
What was the green one? Was it called Jade?
I didn't play
Unlock
the future ones.
Unlock. So,
I think this next cut might illustrate just the terrible chemistry that these two have. I'm not a Nance fan at all, as you know, but one guy sees one thing, he tries to one-up the other, and, oh, you said that, so I'm going to add this, and by the end of it, you're like, none of this is any good.
Boy, looking down the field, the 2 long pass plays to Hollins, one for a touchdown, that one setting him up at the doorstep. Is that Gabe Davis or is that Hollins? Remember, Big Game Gabe had 4 touchdown catches wearing number 13 here a couple of years back in that epic playoff game.
He passed the jersey on. Used to be Big Game James Worthy, Big Game Gabe. Now it's Big Game Hollins.
What? Like, we're already Stretch Armstrong in trying to say that James Worthy and Gabe Davis are in the same universe. But they both have a long A in their name, right? Gabe Davis did wear 13. He had some big plays in Buffalo. Oh, Big Game James, Big Game Gabe, Big Game Mac Hollins. Just nothing.
Makes no sense.
The chat says Reptile was the green one.
Was Reptile the green one?
Yeah.
That's great. I forget we have a vibrant chat working.
This is the one where I think Mahomes got sacked, and one of his linemen got pushed back, and his lineman had a name that triggered something in Nance's head, and then it leads again to just terrible chemistry.
He absolutely walks back Caliendo right here. He picks him up and carries him 3 yards into the backfield, Jim. And he showed up, him and Jones and Oliver last week. And he does it again in a huge situation.
Just tossed him aside. I wasn't sure if it was Mike Caliendo or Frank Caliendo trying to hold him off.
He definitely was going, oh, here we go for a ride.
Here we go. Tony, over to Worthy. That's on the ground.
God.
So what we're doing here, breaking this down,
Mm-hmm.
the game film afterwards is, yes, Nance has been holding on to that. Hey, they got a lineman named Caliendo. Don't know if we'll ever bring him up. Oh, we're bringing him up. Cool.
Wasn't
How
sure
can
if
I
it was...
do the Frank thing? Okay. And then, yes, then you had Romo imitating Frank Caliendo, imitating them. And then Jim Nance imitated Romo, who is imitating Frank Caliendo, who is imitating Romo and Nance.
Yes. That's exactly what happened. And then they just had to get back to like a really basic play.
Awkward promo read. Again, this is the title of the cut. This is Romo and Nance just not having chemistry. So Romo's trying to make a football point, but then he also just can't plow through. If he hears producer in his ear, okay.
It feels like the game's over to everyone, like that was it. It's not. 3 timeouts, but Patrick Mahomes has the ball. Up 3, 2nd and 9, and I believe the theory. I'll tell you right after you do a promo, Jim. Go ahead.
That's because right after the game, Morris Chestnut stars in the new CBS original series Watson. His mystery begins tonight on CBS Sunday. All right, back to the game.
Right now, the same theory I told you about Josh Allen.
I have never heard someone sound more like a hostage doing a read.
Just
like
beaten down.
And it's so, you know what it is? What it is
I'll do it.
is it's exactly like the stuff we do to each other, we do at the station. Oh, no. Do your little birthday.
No.
Yeah, read,
you were going to be
read
funny,
the thing,
right?
Read the thing that was really good. Everybody's been waiting to hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear your great promo. That's because after the game tonight, I don't know, Watson.
All right.
The new show.
They made black.
Yeah.
This final cut really illustrates my disdain for Jim Nance. Because he needs you to know that he is the smartest person in every room. That's why he loves to bring up Gabe Davis real quick. Gabe Davis, guess what? Number 13. So then that's where Romo, he just can't be silent in a room, so he has to add on some stuff he thinks is funny, and then you get the bad. But so he's going to say something that turns out to be erroneous, and instead of just moving on, because now we're moving on. We have a real game going on. This is a very exciting end of this game. But he keeps bringing it back up, and he keeps bringing it back up, and and even at the end, when we're way beyond it, he's going to bring it back up one last time. And what this all stems on, it was a play happened, and then there was a flag on the field. At least that's what showed up on the screen. It said there was a flag on the field.
He just desperately throws it up in the air, incomplete.
So what happened? This was the play. Is the very end. It was 4th and 5, but then Spagnuolo actually dialed up a blitz. Been holding back on that all day. They haven't been bringing the pressure like usual. But then finally they saved this blitz for then. It was brilliant.
Pretty awesome.
He just desperately throws it up in the air, incomplete. Kincaid was right there. There is a flag.
I didn't see a flag thrown there.
I'm told there's a flag.
I know, but this is Spagnuolo pretended to not blitz. Safeties are back, and he sends a corner blitz.
No
and
flag.
It comes free. He waited all game to send the most exotic pressure. He comes from this side. Look at the corner. He's going to come scot-free. Never would you think he's coming. And right there, completely takes the hopes. And Kincaid
almost got there.
Could have caught that one. Josh still made it work. Game's not over right now. 3 timeouts.
The report from the sideline that there had been a flag, but there was no flag. There was no penalty.
Who gives a shit?
It's going to be the first timeout call.
That's what I'm saying.
Play-by-play guys give a
that.
shit.
Yeah, the game
right
just
away.
ended on a Dalton Kincaid massive drop. People are going to be talking about it all day the next day.
He keeps bringing up remember, I that wasn't me. I just want you to know there was a report. Somebody else said flag.
What a dork.
Someone else said there was a flag.
I
just have you all to know that I am the smartest guy still. I did not make a mistake there. Someone else
and
did.
credit to Romo.
And I'm going to point out that someone else did.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like, yeah, but this really exciting play, I'm breaking it down. No. I know, but remember when I said flag? That was not me. That wasn't me that said flag. It wasn't my fault.
That poor spotter. You know, he got the death stare from Nance.
Oh, yeah.
Probably got fired.
Yeah, right. Just like his wife.
Like he'll be watching Browns, Jags.
By the way, in that clip, something that I think I've noticed this before, never pointed it out. I'm very bothered by Tony Romo's use of the word pretend. Like, no one else said – what they'll say is like, oh, a lot of times what Spagnuolo will do, he'll show blitz, back off. And for Romo, and here's Spagnuolo. He's going to pretend like he's going to blitz. Hey, here's we see Mahomes here. He pretends like he's handing it off to Kareem Hunt, pulls the ball. Now he's actually throwing it.
But see, that makes me like
pretend. What is that?
That makes me like Romo a little more because I can tell he's been talking to his kids.
See, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that he talks a lot of times like a guy who is talking to kids. Yeah, that's a bad look for Nance. Speaking of Spagnuolo, real quick.
Uh-huh.
Our buddy Jared Sandler sent me basically what it would look like if he had a talk show today. His like full thoughts.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're good. So maybe we have him on again soon. But one of the things that he mentioned, because he definitely scans as the type of guy who would care about the Hall of Fame, like normal people. And his point is, if you have specialists in the Hall of Fame, you should definitely, or we should consider the idea that we should have coordinators in the Hall of Fame. Because if the Hall of Fame is about like big moments and like defining, Spagnuolo is now arguably the best big game play caller in this era. I mean,
it makes sense.
Incredible what he's done with their defense.
It does make sense.
And that's part of their whole transition.
Like you could never be a head coach, so you should still have a spot.
Right. Instead of like your legacy as a head coach sullying you.
Right.
And that's today's thoughts from Jared Sandler on the NFL.
Okay.
He felt like he needed to do that because he lost me all that money on Washington. But I made up for it on the Chiefs. We took a push this weekend.
Well, today's news is going to be brought to us by Lucy. That's the nicotine pouches. Always tobacco-free. And it is not a company that is owned by Big Tobacco. They're the mom and pop.
What flavor you got?
Of Lucy's.
Apple Ice.
What does the breakers mean?
It's got a little thing you can break, little flavor pouch in there you can break, so it makes it last longer. They taste great.
Yeah, don't pop it too early.
The flavor bit?
Yeah, wait till it gets dry.
What?
Okay. Says here it's great with your morning coffee at
Vouch
the golf
for that.
course.
Love it. Just out there yesterday.
Etc.
Yeah.
Softball league plays on an all-turf field, so no spitting of dip or sunflower seeds, so these Lucy's are perfect.
Look at that.
Lucy.co/dumbzone. And you can use a promo code dumbzone, getting 20% off your first order.
And free shipping.
Wait!
Yeah.
Free shipping?
That's right. Here comes a fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Well, it was a big weekend for our buddies at ICE. You guys following along on social media?
Is this the rounding up Mexican people?
Mm-hmm. We have two stories related to this. The first one, local. As a substitute teacher at Northside High School over in Fort Worth, very heavy Latino area. It really is as...
No skinny Latinos over there?
Oh, okay. Yeah. She...
I thought it was okay. No?
No, I loved it.
Well, thank you, man.
Let's see. I can't tell if it's a male or a female based on this.
Thinking man's joke? Maybe he just didn't get it.
I got it immediately. It's a female. She started posting on social media, this substitute teacher. And I think she even added ICE. So my brother used to do that. Like when my brother was really wild in on social media, he would just like at the TSA, kind of give him a piece of his mind, or like at AP.
At Southwest Airlines.
Yeah.
See, sometimes
yes.
it
works.
Yeah, you do it. if you at Southwest Airlines, they'll contact you, and then they'll make it right behind the scenes. What are you going to do with ICE?
I don't know. What she did is
And why
she
does
said-
ICE have social media?
They all do.
That's a great point.
Isn't that weird?
Let's see what they're tweeting.
She said, y'all should come to Fort Worth, Texas to Northside High School. I have many students who don't even speak English, and they're in the 10th to 11th grade. They have to communicate through their iPhone translator with me. The @USED.gov should totally overhaul our school system in Texas. So she's just sitting there and
tagging the Department of Education.
Yeah. So she's just sitting there in fourth period, literature course. She's like, you know what? I'd love to get all these people deported.
ICE tweets pictures.
Yeah.
Of?
What do you? Yeah. Of stings.
Let me get this to Rob.
You know what's crazy is TC was telling me yesterday his daughter's in DISD, and they are in a dual language program.
DEISD?
Yeah.
No?
Good stuff. No, that one's better.
Okay.
That
thanks.
one's much better.
I'm just trying to make you happy.
And they were telling me how it works. And if you enroll in this dual language program, you don't learn to read in English until like 6th or 7th grade. So she knows English from life, but her instruction at school is all in Spanish. So they learn how to read in Spanish. And I said, well, can she read in English right now? Because Nora's getting there pretty well. She's like, no, she doesn't read in English. They teach her this first, and it's easier for her to learn this and be immersed in it at school, and she's going to learn English from being around it. And, like, the line to sign up for this program is around the proverbial building, which is interesting. Now, I don't think she's being deported, but this particular teacher has been placed on leave.
For tweeting that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, this Fox News article, Fox 4 News, has a bunch of, sad quotes, frankly, from parents and teachers, basically. This third grade teacher says our students are afraid to come to class. Yes, on Friday, 3 of my parents said they were not sending their kids to school anymore because they're afraid.
Look at that.
These are pictures that ICE tweets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, what'd you guys think it was going to be?
Them handcuffing?
Yeah. No, it's not like...
I thought they'd be a little more diplomatic than that.
No, dude. And look,
I guess like the police departments will show their drug busts.
And they're posting, they're posting stats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what this is? This ties into something I was thinking about the other day. I follow Texas Tech's head football coach on Twitter, Joey McGuire. And so this thing showed up on my timeline, and it was an athlete, look like a college-age athlete, an offensive lineman, and it was his workout drills for the offseason. He's like, oh, always grinding so I can eat, get money. And he was just doing, like, basic agility drills. And it was retweeted by his coach, at which point I realized all these kids in college, and probably even some NFL players for their agent, which then feeds into a news story, which gets to teams, they're posting it so their coaches see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And ICE is posting this stuff so that their coach, which is basically the people, and the big man are like, oh, look at that.
All right.
Cuffing somebody.
Detaining people. Cool.
Elsewhere in detaining people, cool. We had a big raid in Chicago. They posted on Sunday about the launch of Operation Safeguard in Chicago alongside a slew of federal agencies.
That's a weak name.
That's really bad. There's a lot of like Operation Andale. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
for real?
No, that's me. I've always wanted that job.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a Operation Hasta La Vista,
It's good.
There are options here besides Safeguard. So in this particular case, we have the FBI, the DEA, ICE, U.S. Marshals. They're involved in Chicago. And, their border czars tweeting about it. Well, in this case in particular, television personality Dr. Phil McGraw joined the raids and broadcast them live to millions of viewers.
How does that get set up?
I don't know. Look at the photo right there. Yeah. I guess the guy who did it, Tom Homan, is like a cop, and he's a political commentator, and he's got some sort of show that will follow around law enforcement and tell their stories, and Dr. Phil's like, what you need to do is get out of the country. Time has come, Mexican.
How's the Dr. Phil thing going? No?
A guy who would know says not well.
I was at his... you didn't go. I went to Dr. Phil's show with TC and Jorts.
No, I know. A lot of cutbacks.
They had started saying this was the biggest launch since Fox TV. In the, was that the 80s or 90s?
Probably late 80s, early 90s.
But that's how they were selling it to us when we were there. They're like, this is going to be the biggest network launch since Fox TV.
Yeah.
They hired a bunch of local people because that's in Fort Worth or somewhere.
Yeah, out west way.
Near me.
West and north where the money is. And here's another thing too is like I've always heard he's a prick. Like I've always heard, for example, we've referenced Glenn Beck a few times on the show, and like he's got a big persona. Everybody who you talk to, it's like, yeah, he treats people well. He's a good guy. I have not
good dude
heard
to
that
work
about
for.
Dr. Phil. So you can have two people that you don't really agree with how they do things, and my mind will be changed drastically by what the people who know you say. So, and also, like, I get it. This is a real thing, addressing illegal immigration. I certainly don't have an answer for it. But like cashing in with a live stream to watch people, you know, even if they're here illegal and they need to go back, it is ruining their life. They're not here.
Are you against the live stream catching the sexual predator?
I think all that's weird, man. Like there's a trend now where these content creators will go just punch the piss out of a suspected pedophile. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's good at all. I somehow still believe we should have like trials and stuff, and also it's not up to a citizen to do. Like the people who are doing those videos and punching, they seem just as weird to me almost as people who are chatting with a teenager. It's all bad.
What about the time Buzz Aldrin punched the moon conspiracy?
Did that happen?
Didn't you ever hear about that?
No. Is there a video?
You're now joking.
I that gets sent to me every week. And I'm not kidding.
Buzz Aldrin punching a moon conspiracy guy?
Yeah.
Because he's got a moon jacket?
Yeah, he does have a moon letter jacket.
Punching Nazi was a thing for a little while, right?
Yeah, Richard Spencer got roofed pretty hard down in D.C. around the time of the protest and stuff, and that guy kind of went away.
What about punch a Roman?
Punch a
lover of Roman symbols. Roman numerals.
Oh. Police are investigating a robbery. This is in Mesquite. This is a real crummy thing to do, but kind of funny. You know how when you go to like PetSmart, beyond just the would you like to donate $5 to a homeless pet, blah, 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 on the credit card?
I feel so bad when I tell them no.
I know. And I feel so bad, especially.
And then they have a doctor right there.
And you use a gun, not even a needle.
Oh, okay. At my place,
they have a
little higher end.
A sheet and a gun.
Yeah, they inject a pet right there, and then you see the life slowly go out of their eyes.
They actually, at mine, they make me do the two fingers on its eyes.
Yeah, then they put it in the bag with your stuff.
That's crazy.
So either this dog stays alive because you donated, or it doesn't.
Mine has an incinerator there.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And I do feel bad when I hit no, especially after I push myself away from the counter and I kind of moonwalk back over to the button and make a big show of it and hit no. But in addition to that, they usually...
And I light a cigar with a 20.
Yeah. A lot of times they have... it doesn't even have to be pet related. They got some hustle going on outside. Teen suicide, youth flag football team.
Oh, man.
It's a prime spot.
It's a great excuse to not go into the gym if they have a guy out there hawking something.
You'll skip the gym for that?
I'll turn right around. Like, I will definitely
You're
go
a
into
pussy.
different interests in Kroger. Like, if they have somebody selling something at one thing.
That's fine, but you don't not go to Kroger. You don't.
There's no other way into the gym. There's just one entrance.
Well, in this case, on Saturday at this PetSmart, they actually
And
had
I'm looking for an excuse not to go to the gym. That's what I'm saying here. Sorry.
That's fair.
Go ahead.
They actually had a nonprofit animal rescue table set up. So you've already passed level 1 of not paying with your credit card for the dogs. Now you're outside and there's a physical person there, and they had a jar of cash. And that jar of cash was quickly stolen. They got the license plates. Video footage sent to Fox shows a man running out of the store with a jar in his hand.
And how much can be in there?
It can't be much.
No one has a lot of cash anymore.
I believe I've told you guys this before, but in my brief time of trying to run a bar out of my backyard, we had a huge space, and we had an actual bar that was built into the deck. Just a couple 2x4s and some sinks. So we would get kegs and we would charge, and we would also buy well liquor and serve mixed drinks. And
Do you have a name for your bar?
No, we never got that far.
The house that named
the branding
their
of
hallway.
Arsenio Hall. I know.
Roseanne Bar.
The house was
would've been
called the
great.
Pirate House because we had a big pirate flag painted over the fraternity logo that was there when we moved in. But tip jar stealing was a thing, and we'd have $700-800 in there. And it happened twice, and both times the guy got ran down.
And beat up and stuff?
A little.
Okay.
But what do you expect's going to happen?
Yeah, you got to – that's risk reward.
It can't be just a smash and grab. You have to be a little more coy about it. And then my final note here, not horror, which Dan is definitely going to accuse me of just being out of news stories, but I actually want this one out there. You guys like Girl Scout cookies? You like Thin Mint?
Are these euphemisms?
No, and I think you didn't say that correctly.
Probably not. I do not like Thin Mint, but of course I like the one with the coconut and the little chocolate lines on them.
Samoas.
Oh,
Is that what
yeah,
that's
those
called?
are dope.
Yep.
That's my favorite.
Yep.
Well,
if anybody wants to donate that to us.
a collab the world has needed but didn't know it. Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies and Wendy's Frosties. And I'm only telling you this because I mentioned last week, I am in my ice cream era. Dude, I fucked up some ice cream this weekend.
Well, you just went to Wendy's and all of a sudden they're offering.
No, there's an actual news story about it here.
Oh.
And now I want to try it because
What's the cookie going to be?
it's Thin Mint cookie. That's what I thought I said that. The Thin Mint is their most popular cookie.
So it's wait, you're not buying a Girl Scout cookie.
No, you are buying a Frosty that is flavored Thin Mint.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will be getting one of these. Dude, here's what I did this weekend.
I'm sorry, do proceeds go to the Girl Scouts, or how are they?
I don't care.
There's probably some deal.
Well, at least
some
when you're
percentage.
Buying the cookies, you sort of feel good that you're supporting them in some way.
Got us into a conversation yesterday with my daughter about, she's like, what's a Girl Scouts? And Chris tried to tell her, and she's like, is there Boy Scouts? I'm like, yeah, but you can be in that one if you want. She's like, well, can boys be in Girl Scouts? I'm like, I don't understand the world anymore.
Show her that new movie.
Penis to vagina.
Yeah. This will explain it all.
No, on Saturday night, Brevik was over there, and he left at about midnight, and I had those little Yasso. If Yasso wants to do spots, they're like frozen yogurt bars. They're 100 calories.
My freezer's full of them.
Well, mine was until I ate 2 of them. And I was like, damn, usually go to the grocery store on Sunday. And I don't feel bad about this because I used to order food and pass out and not eat it, and I used to spend a lot of money on alcohol. But at 12:30 on Saturday night, when my wife was out at a party, or I knew she wasn't going to be home till 2 or maybe stay the night.
You're at Kroger.
Damn, she's living.
I wasn't driving, brother. I just laid in bed and had a Haagen-Dazs cheesecake ice cream from 7-Eleven delivered to my front door for $12.
Dude. What have you become?
Was it better when he had a bottle of Jack Daniels and
Do you understand the things I can do now and be like, well, it ain't that bad?
Right.
Really
See, that's the thing.
You're door dashing a pint of ice cream.
I'd had a couple of little gummies, the real THC gummies, courtesy of Early Bird CBD, and I thought I don't need to get behind the wheel. You know, it's $12. I would have spent
So you're
$50
making
on a pizza.
someone else get behind the
That
wheel
is,
to go get your
you've
ice
saved
cream.
money. It's better for you.
I woke up and was at the gym immediately.
There you go.
No problem.
Right.
But I also paid to have ice cream delivered. And
That's what you have to do. You have, because I've seen your Taco Bell the next morning that you didn't eat.
Right.
So that could be a $50 order, a $30 order, whatever.
Sure.
Yes. So you spent $12. You've just saved 20.
Calories lower.
Calories are lower. And you have a fun story.
Yeah. So go get yourself a nice Thin Mint Frosty, and there's your news.
Oh.
Got him.
Wasn't ready for
The
that.
Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
Stop burping.
Fine.
Third
Today in
one
history
today.
is brought to us by Lone Star Beer, the national beer of Texas. Celebrating 140 years of... You know what? I'm going to change my hat. Talk about Lone Star for a second, Blake.
Well, I like the red can because it's authentically Texan. Perfect with barbecue, but really perfect for anything. Lone Star is great. When you think of Texas, you think of Lone Star. It's right in the name. 140 years of brewing in Texas. Dan has got his sweet hat.
That is a
which
sweet
you
hat.
could get at a discounted rate if you head to their website.
That's where you'd give the website.
Oh, that's for me? LoneStarBeer.com.
One of you two morons.
LoneStarBeer.com. I couldn't see it.
The code is DumbZone21. How could you not see it?
I don't
And how
Where is it?
dumb do you have to be?
Get
just
back to
know?
the read. Hey, the merch is great.
LoneStarBeer.com.
It's about time for me to get another shirt. Those are quality shirts.
Yeah. I'm a Lone Star Light guy. That's the blue can. So if you like to separate yourselves between red and blue, like we do, and they're going to be fired up to be a part of our, I don't know if they're fired up, but I'm fired up that they're a part of our Super Bowl party too.
Oh, yeah.
The fridge is stock full of Lone Star beer.
It goes fast.
And Lone Star Light.
Do your little birthdays.
All right.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in History.
Actually, I have a couple little birthdays from people that listen to their little show. I have Dear Truffle Butter Tycoon.
Didn't we do this one?
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Well, it's a very distinctive.
That one was for Wire Will. That was on
Intro.
Friday we did it. Dear Uncle Hotmail. Today is my Saquon Barkley times Kyler Murray birthday. I'm honored to share the birthday with first ballot DZ Hall of Famer Wire Will, who was gracious enough to invite two guys from some restaurant whom he had never met over to his house to enjoy your show on Friday. Can't wait for the new show at the next new house next year. Hope you enjoyed the food we brought from Winewood.
Winewood is
That was awesome.
exceptional.
P.S. If Blake's bid is going to be high school mascots, he actually needs to get some right.
Damn.
Not just say, I don't know.
Whew.
That's not getting it wrong.
At least it doesn't bother him.
Also, your food sucks.
And then he says, that being said, more Blake.
Oh.
The bacon wrap quail was quite good.
That's from Brian Wagner.
Those tuna nachos.
Wags. I wonder if anybody calls them Wags.
Well, we do.
Dan and Jake, I'm writing because Sunday is my boyfriend Chase's 41st birthday. Chase, longtime listener of your radio show turned podcast, never misses an episode. He becomes irritable when his sacred listening time is interrupted. He thinks of you as friends.
Well, that's because we are.
And from what I understand, he has met y'all and written in many times. His birthday usually comes and goes without recognition, but I know it would mean the world to him if you gave him a birthday shout-out on your show. Thank you both for providing him with comfort as he navigated the most challenging and dark time of his life and continues to do so as life gets better and better. From Chase's girlfriend, Carly. Chase Bailey is his name.
That's a great man.
Is it?
Yes. It is.
What was the bad stuff?
Yeah, tell me about the challenging and dark times. You know I love that.
No.
I want to hear about people's worst times. Because then it makes me feel better about my life.
No, I'm just going to say he's a great man that I appreciate.
Like the fact that he has a girlfriend writing in for him, that sounds like he's got it going pretty good right now. He's probably getting a little tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's his birthday.
Yeah, he should. It's his birthday.
Trump's back. Aren't we all supposed to get...
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, the ladies are knowing their roles and stuff like that, right?
And she's still the girlfriend, so she still has to try.
It's true. Greetings, Colossus of Clit.
All right.
I write you today from the electronic mail platform that is steadily gaining in popularity to wish a belated happy Barry Switzer Kempspin birthday to my pal Josh Remington. He says the Barry Switzer Kempspin thing is if you sort by name on the website, it's number 32.
Nice.
Okay.
So a new way to label your birthday is to go to kempspin.com. He is known amongst his friends as Rim Job or Jeb.
Either one.
His leaders are Phil Mickelson's Cavs.
Yeah, quite big.
Female POV Blake.
Try it.
Lauren Sanchez's Cleavage. And Jake's inability to say the word wolves.
I think it's still a thing. Know what I mean?
Josh requests more Sarah Hepola, Dear Julie, and Blake's book review segments as he works towards getting more in touch with his feminine side. This is from Andrew Chuckles Collier. Day 1, DF number 194.
Golly.
Elsewhere here on Monday, Monday, January 27th. On this day in 1967, astronauts Gus Grissom, Edward White, and Roger Chaffee died in a flash fire during a test aboard their Apollo spacecraft.
Wow.
All right, hold on. Jake wrote me a note.
It says...
Oh, it was only astronauts, he said.
I feel like
so.
There's a world where he was about to say they were only space guys or space fans.
On this day in 1984, Wayne Gretzky sets an NHL record for consecutive games scoring. His streak ends at 51 games.
Who is this? The great one?
Gretzky. I think I've told you, as a little kid, this was a playground argument as to I'm doing my sports talk show on the playground, and there's some things we're dealing with. I mean, this was a show that would...
It'd go there.
We would do sports talk, but also, if you got a thing on pumping a stomach because you had serviced a lot of... Like, we'll deal with that.
Yeah.
Like
quite a range.
Be irreverent a little bit, but we're going to go back to the base, which had to do with Wayne Gretzky and is a 51-game point streak. Not a goal streak, just points. Because you could get an assist by just passing it to someone who passes it to someone else, and then they score a goal, and now...
Yeah, they call that one a hockey assist.
So...
Thank you, Blake.
The point is... Big controversy as to where does this rank among Joe DiMaggio? Should it even be in the same breath? To which, in a town without an NHL team, we all pretty much agreed, absolutely not.
Yeah, what? Do
you know how hard baseball is?
You want a cookie for showing up?
Anyway,
what about
now that you know a little more about hockey, it's pretty impressive. 51 games. He had 61 goals and 92 assists. He had 153 points in 51 games. That seems really good.
It's insane. It's insane because he had to play in all those games. And I know hockey doesn't take games off, but it's insane.
And this is the day in 1984 that Michael Jackson suffered serious burns to his scalp when pyrotechnics set his hair on fire during the filming of a Pepsi TV commercial at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles.
Damn. Pyrotechnics, man. I wonder if Rob remembers this story. When I was growing up, the big deal around here was that bands would go play the Tarrant County Convention Center instead of playing in Dallas because Tarrant County, I don't even know if this is true, Tarrant County had more lax rules on pyrotechnics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Metallica, obviously they, speaking of getting burned, but Metal bands would play Tarrant County because they loved fire.
And on this day in 1997, actor Charlie Sheen got divorced from model Donna Peel. They were married for 4 months. I love those bits.
4-month wedding or marriage?
Yeah.
Kind of feel like, what's the point?
Let's see. In today's birthdays, our old friend, former ticket account executive, Holly Krebs. Remember Holly?
Yeah.
It's her birthday. It says here she's 29. Former Cowboy, it says Kempspin next to his name, and I don't remember it. 34-year-old Dustin Vaughn.
I mean, it's somewhat. He didn't do anything wrong, but he was a backup quarterback, and he had a hilarious video from his college time. And it was like, I think he was trying to get invited to the Combine. And this is like, what, 8-9 years ago? I don't know, but it was before you couldn't do this, and now I think we're back to this. But his highlight video had ridiculous stuff where he's like throwing a football over a mountain. And it also had him like running and jumping like to dunk, and in the midair, like he turned into a black guy and like dunked. Like he was making fun of the fact that he's not athletic at all. It wasn't like he wore blackface.
All right.
But he had a funny video.
Is he the one that threw under the boat?
Probably.
Remember the boat football video?
That feels more recent now that you say that. But
Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley did that.
They were roommates. A lot of people don't know that.
Did what? Threw a football into a moving boat?
Yeah.
Dustin Vaughn was a fun guy.
Cade York, 24.
Kicker,
drafted by the Browns from Prosper. Did you know that?
Did not.
You should have. High school football guy, right?
I should have.
Oh.
This Dustin Vaughn video is hilarious.
I told you.
What do you watch?
We had him on at camp.
It's on YouTube. Dustin Vaughn, West Texas A&M Lone Star Conference quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay,
he leaned into the bit.
He's failing to push a sled, doing half push-ups.
Here's another Kemp spin. Chris Collinsworth, 66.
I like the younger ones. Likes young ladies. For some reason decided to tell that to a reporter when they were doing a profile on this young up-and-coming wide receiver.
Fred Taylor, 49.
Dude.
He was a video game monster.
He really was.
All right, here's
Dustin Vaughn.
Dustin Vaughn video.
Yeah, you can tell he's got a Christmas sweater on. You can tell he's doing bits. He knows he's not jumping jacks. He's in a trash apartment complex. Slow-mo push-ups.
Just crappy push-ups
on his knees.
Okay. Boy, if I knew about this, I definitely would have talked to him at training camp.
I think we did.
Oh, really?
I think so.
But he's all out of breath?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is definitely just doing bits.
He's got a coffee and an ice cream sandwich.
Okay,
it's just him being goofy.
I feel like the last part, you can go fourth, but if it jumps out at you, I want you to see it because I'm pretty sure he morphs himself.
Matt Stover is 57.
Punter?
Kicker. Nick Mason is 81. He is from Pink Floyd.
See, he changed it midair into a black guy.
That's funny. Jump.
In a terrible edit.
James Cromwell is 85.
Is that politics?
Succession. You're thinking James Carville.
Yeah, and like Cromwell from history, but
James Cromwell was the old
the brother.
Yeah,
that guy was great. I loved him and Greg together.
Keith Olbermann, 66.
God, I can't stand him. Never really was a big fan. Was a huge DP guy. But Olbermann always gave me the uppity vibe. Doesn't drive.
It's interesting. Norm Macdonald never drove.
Oh, I wish I had known that. That feels pretentious.
Bridget Fonda, 61. Tracy Lawrence, 57. Patton Oswalt, 56.
Spence.
Guillermo Rodriguez, 54.
Who's Spence?
King of Queens.
Patton Oswalt was in King of Queens, huh?
Checks out, doesn't it?
He had like a really weird late career thing. Like, because his wife was writing that book about the Golden State Killer, and then she died. So he just finished it. That's a cool twist.
I read it.
To a Hollywood story.
Did you read it?
I did not. I watched the documentary.
It's good. It's funny.
Yeah. Yep.
Born on this Day Now Dead. Mozart.
Nah.
Painter.
Great painter.
Century guesses?
Born, give me within 10 years, any year he lived. Within 10 years, any year that Mozart lived.
You want to go first or me?
1799.
1690.
You got a guess, Rob? Oh, Rob might have seen the bio. He lived from 1756 to 1791.
Yeah, and I think we've done this before, too, because piano was... I don't think if you guess 1600s, you can get piano in there. With respect to piano.
They didn't invent the piano?
I think people were rocking piano widely, like, early 1700s.
So Beethoven, was he... in the same era? Were all these guys in the same era? Brahms, Beethoven, Mozart? Was that the classic rock era type thing? You know? You got Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stone, they're all in the same decade or so. So they're on the same station.
Late 1700s, yes.
Late 1700s?
Yeah. And then people that were really into them got very upset when in 1840 they heard it on the oldies station.
Right. Not already.
I'm old then, I guess.
Also born on this day now dead, Art Rooney and Jerry Buss. 2 owners.
Royalty.
Governor. One's a governor. Dead on this day, still dead. This is one, I think it's real. Thomas Crapper invented the toilet. Died on this day in 1910. That means the toilets... Look. You weren't going to invent it.
No.
Is there any way you even know? Give me some thoughts on how a toilet works.
Couldn't even.
Give me some thoughts on how there's a guy on the 100th floor in a New York City apartment, and he can flush that toilet, and then where's that go?
Yeah, I don't know where it goes now. To be honest with you.
Just from your house?
Yeah.
Does it go out into Lake Grapevine?
Maybe.
Does it just go back into your shower?
Doesn't bother me.
Died on this day, still dead, Andre the Giant.
Damn.
I never watched that documentary. Have you?
I have, yeah.
Heard a lot about it.
Probably not near as... It's wild, but it's not scandalous like the Vince McMahon story is.
You said wild, kind of like Oprah.
I did.
2010, Howard Zinn.
The People's History.
Look into Howard Zinn. Did you see there was a Charles Barkley clip going around where he's talking about class? I saw it, and then I heard Brunig play it on his podcast.
Yeah, it was on TNT that night.
Yeah.
He's like, the best thing these people do is keep us fighting with each other.
But it felt
Howard
like he
Zinn.
just read Howard Zinn.
I bet he has.
And Ingvar Kamprad died on this day in 2018.
Who?
Ingvar Kamprad, founder of IKEA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
The home of the first-time home, you go buy everything. First-time home. How about my fifth home?
Yeah. Also a big player in the gonna need to get some furniture pretty quick here because she decided she's had enough.
Yeah, divorced dad.
Big time. Big time.
Although you know what else? Divorced dad.
I already have my whole cart, so it's all in there. So the day that it happens, I just simply hit order and it'll...
Divorced dad is, at least my divorced dad, I garbage picked, or he did. The neighbor had a TV, stand that you could have magazines in the side or something, and it's kind of rusty, but he took it and put it in his apartment, and it was there for 5 years.
Why not?
His apartment until he got a house and a wife and a new kid that he really loved.
That was Today in History.
Also,
So
today's
good.
show, just like they said at the beginning, we said at the beginning, was brought to you by Fair Lease. What do you think of Fair Lease? And Frankel. Brought to you by Frankel, too. That's why I wore the hat earlier. But Frankel is one of our main sponsors. Personal injury attorneys, of course, 214-817, all threes. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance company, and then Fair Lease.
Fairlease.org.
One of our huge sponsors. Just want to give a little extra love to them.
Tell them we sent you.
Why? What are they going to do?
Be happy about it.
All right, well, anyway, guys.
That's when you would have played the thing. I gave you like 10 different seconds where you could have
We've
played
been
the
going
thing.
for 3.5 hours. Can we get out of here?
What's the thing?
God damn it.
What thing would I have played, though?
He just wants to hear his daughter, I guess.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
All right. I'll never listen. I wanna listen to. I'm gonna listen to the dumb.